Conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at forward. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
The man is absolutely correct. This is Black Talk Media. And by the way, you probably noticed that the voice you hear is not that of Charles Ellison, the learned host of Reality Check. Instead, it's yours truly, attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America. By the way, I really wasn't supposed to be on today. In fact, technically, I'm supposed to be in court right now. Well, not really, but here's the background. I had a big hearing, pretrial hearing scheduled on a major drug case in Westchester. It's kind of weird because Westchester, many people think is in Delaware County, but really Westchester is in Chester County. So I got a Chester County case in Westchester, or at least I had it, but at the very last minute, and this is a true story, very last minute, things fell apart. But actually, they didn't really fall apart. They came together because I found out that, hey, WRD would like to have me come back and do my thing today, even though it was technically for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. But here it is Thursday, and I'm back. So everything worked out well. WRD is happy, I'm happy, and I'm sure the listening audience is happy. Once again, big shout out to my good friend Charles Ellison, who hosts Reality Check Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and yours truly, Michael X. I do my thing at the radio courtroom here at WURD every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's really interesting because normally I prepare an agenda or an outline when I know I'm going to be on the air, but I didn't do any of that because I was preparing last night and this morning for my case. But then the case fell apart. It's going to be rescheduled to a later date, so I'm free for the next 2-3 hours. And I'm happy. The station's happy. And I know you're happy. You're so happy you're going to call us. You're going to talk about anything and say, hey, Mike, I know you didn't have anything lined up for today. I know you kind of freestyling, as you say, in hip-hop. I know you're improvising, as you say, in jazz. So, you know, we want to help you out. So, folks, you can help me out. You can be the co-host today. How do you do that? Very easy. All you do is dial 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900. Once again, 866-361-0900. And once you call those numbers, we'll get you in to talk about anything. Now, you know I do my thing as an attorney, which means I talk about criminal law and civil law. I talk about parking law and real estate law. I talk about estates law, and I talk about tax law. I talk about any type of law you can imagine. So that's my thing. But when you call, you don't have to talk about any of that. Well, I want to be clear. I'm here to provide a community service. So if you do need legal assistance regarding any of those topics, as I said, criminal law or civil law, family law or administrative law, estates law or real estate law, tax law or parking law, any type of law, I'm your attorney. Instead of charging you the, I don't know, $350, $450, $1,000 an hour that center city attorneys charge people for legal advice, I'm going to give you that advice for free. Well, let me say it this way. You don't have to pay any money, but you do have to pay attention. So if you pay attention, you can get free legal advice from yours truly, attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America. The numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900, 866-361-0900. By the way, you can catch us streaming on WURD Facebook Live, streaming WURD YouTube, and streaming WURD Twitch. And by the way, you can see us and hear us and even feel us 24/7. Just go to our website. It is WURDradio.com. That's so easy to remember. WURDradio.com. And once you go to that website, just click on WURD TV Live. And not only will you hear the voice of yours truly, you'll see the face of yours truly, Denzel Washington, a.k.a. Idris Elba, right here at WURD. As I pointed out, folks, call in and talk about anything and everything. I had I've been doing radio for a while with Mary Mason back in the day on the other station and here at WRD for, I don't know, 10, 11 years, whatever, and had great shows. For me, yesterday was the greatest. For me personally. Now, you might like some other stuff, but I loved yesterday because I love black people and I love baseball and I love black business. So I brought together, correction, the ancestors brought together black people, black baseball, and black business all in one show yesterday because it was a major date, 134 years since July 14, 1887. We might talk about that today, but definitely want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. First up, waiting, and by the way, as I say, call about legal stuff, or if you don't have issues regarding legal stuff, you might want to talk about other stuff like cultural stuff or political stuff or historical stuff or current events or gun violence or anything you want to talk about. For example, we're going to find out now what Jerry from West Philly wants to talk about. And whatever Jerry from West Philly wants to talk about, that's exactly what we will talk about. Jerry, how can we help you or how can you help us?
I can't believe it. I had a question and I said, I'm going to have to find a lawyer, or I was thinking about you.
Wow, absolutely perfect. That's what we're here for.
I know. It blew me out the water because I listened to you the other day. That was my first time actually listening to you. And I said, something came up and I said, I don't know whether it's too late to do it. A class action suit.
Mm-hmm.
Do it have to be so many years too late to do that?
Very good question.
Company?
Very good question. First of all, you have to be part of the class. Just so people know what you and I are talking about. To be part of a class means you have to have standing. Standing is a legal term. Standing means you have the legal right to make a claim, that you are the person to make a claim. Let's say you bought a car from the X car company, and when you bought that car, you found out a couple weeks later that there were some serious defects and the tires would fall off. So you purchased that car from the X company. Anybody else like you who purchased that car from the X company, and you might find out there were 50,000 persons who, like you, purchased that car. So now anybody who purchased that car, anybody whose wheels fall off after a certain number of weeks or whatever, now they're part of that class. Your neighbor is not a part of that class. Your cousin, your coworker, it has to be somebody who purchased the vehicle and was affected by it. That's the class. That's the first thing, standing, which means the legal right. Now, in terms of your rights, it depends because there's something called statute of limitations, and it could be 2 years, in some cases 4 years, in other cases 5, and some. So it depends. But generally speaking, most lawyers would tell you you want to try to get in at least within the 2-year statute of limitation. Now, there are exceptions to that where it could be longer or even shorter. So what I'd like you to do, Jerry, is I don't want to get into your business and have 1 million people hear what we're talking about right now. So what you need to do, Jerry, is to email me or call me and let me know exactly what it's about, and I can tell you, okay, it's this kind of case. Well, for this kind of case, 1, you are a member of that class, you have proper standing, and 2, you're within the statute of limitations. Go ahead and file, or damn, you missed it by 6 months. But I need to know all the details. So email me at Michael Cord X. That's MICHAEL Cord, COARD, the letter X. Michael Cord X at gmail.com. And you won't really get a quick response because we got volunteers working with my organization, ATTAC, ATAC, Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. But the volunteers try to do the best they can to get messages to me. That number is 215-552-8751, 215-552-8751. So plan A, email me for a quick response. Plan B, call me, and my people will try to get a hold of me, and I'll let you know whether, 1, you're a proper person to be part of that class, and 2, whether you're still within the statute of limitations. Any other question you want to ask generally before we move on?
Oh, no. You I'll email you then.
Okay. Jerry, I don't recognize your voice. You sound like a first-time caller for me. Please, if you are a first-time caller, don't be a stranger. Please continue to call.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Isn't it amazing how things work? Jerry needed legal advice. I was supposed to be in court right now in Chester County on a major drug case, which, by the way, we're going to beat, not because drugs are a good thing, but because the police got to have reasonable suspicion. They got to have probable cause. They just can't make up stuff and stop a young black man who's in a late model car simply because he's a young black man in a late model car. Treat my client like you would have treated a wealthy white guy on the main line if he was driving a 2021, what did my client have, a BMW 7 Series? I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a nice car. How did I get distracted from that? I was supposed to be talking about Jerry. Anyway, anybody who wants to get legal advice like Jerry just got, give us a call. The numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. Let's keep things moving. Folks, call in. Like I said, I got two things I want to talk about, but I'm freestyling. I want to talk about this boycott I'm organizing against racist white businesses in Philly. I didn't get a chance to talk about that yesterday because I was talking about my Negro Leagues baseball stuff. But isn't it amazing how the ancestors work? They said, Mike, we'll give you time today. So that's one thing I want to talk about, this boycott, and I want to tell you all how you can be a part of it. And number two, the help list. The help list is a document I put together to help you with legal problems, municipal problems, state problems, federal problems. It just helps you with all your problems, except your emotional or personal problems. I'm talking about business stuff or legal stuff. I'm going to talk about that. But everything else, whatever y'all want to talk about, anything, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free, 866-361-0900, 866-361-0900. Keep things moving. Next up, Calvin, Delaware. Calvin, how can we help you or how can you help us?
Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good. I had a couple of things. First is
take
a
your
tax
time.
question.
Take your time. Take your
A
time.
family member left me some land down south, and I pay taxes to the state for that land. There's no property on it. It's just land.
I got
Do
you.
I have to pay taxes to the federal government, too? Is it just for the state? Now, it's not in my name, so I have to get it transferred to my name that my family member is now deceased.
Calvin, you asked a great question, and you know why I'm so smart, Calvin? Because I stay in my lane. When people ask me stuff and I don't know the answer to, I make sure I have around me people, colleagues, associates who can answer that. So that's why people think I'm so smart, because I got so many smart people around me. My area of expertise is criminal defense. So, Calvin, if you told me you shot somebody and you need a lawyer, I can help you right now. But you're talking about real estate and taxes. I hope you got a pen and a pad. I'm going to give you two names of two great attorneys who specialize not only in taxes, but in real estate. So in regard to the tax stuff, you want to call my good friend, Sharon Wilson. That's attorney Sharon Wilson. Her number is 985-4566, 215-985-4566. And she's a friend of WRD. Just say, hey, attorney Michael Cord told me to give you a call about this tax matter. I'm a WRD listener. He said you'd give me free legal advice over the phone. So that's attorney Sharon Wilson. Taxes, 215-985-4566. In regard to the real estate component, you want to call my good friend Ken West, W-E-S-T. His number is 610-446-9000. 610-446-9000. Attorney Ken West. He's a real estate attorney and a realtor and a friend of WRD. Call him and say, hey, Attorney Michael Cord told me to give you a call. He said you're a friend of WRD and you'll give me free legal advice over the phone because I'm a supporter of WRD. So, Calvin, that's it. Anything else you need?
Yeah, I know yesterday I enjoyed your program. You were talking about Negro Leagues. I believe Octavius Cato was a baseball player back in the, around the time.
You got it. In fact, he organized a team here in Philadelphia. And the interesting thing is that he tried to integrate black baseball through the Pennsylvania Major League Baseball Association. So he was the first person to try to get into white baseball and was rejected. And people think that this was a Southern thing. No, Pennsylvania was the first state to officially ban. So you're right, Octavius Cato wasn't just a civil rights activist and a voting rights activist and one of the early deans of the Institute for Colored Youth, which became Cheney University, but he was serious about baseball as a player and a manager.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember when I was a kid. I'm 72 now, and I grew up in Germantown, but I remember there used to be a team called the Philadelphia Bombers,
Mm-hmm.
They used to play.
Hey, I got to tell you,
and,
Calvin, I got to check it out because in all my research, I've never heard of the Philadelphia Bombers. Was this a Negro League team?
Yeah, it was a black baseball team. I mean, the Philadelphia Bombers. They used to play in Germantown at the East Germantown Recreation Center. And
let me tell you this, Mr. Calvin. Based on your age, I want to call you Mr. Calvin. You just gave me a homework assignment because in all the research I've done, I found at least 6 or 7 Philadelphia area teams, including Darby and surrounding places, but never heard of Philadelphia Bombers. So, I'm going to do some research.
The Bombers. They played all over there. And I remember because when we were kids, I mean, the places would always be packed with people. And I remember, like, if somebody would hit a home run, I would be chasing balls out in the street, and what have you. But, I mean, I can remember that growing up over in East Germantown, the rec center. Yeah, the Philadelphia Bombers. Yeah, I just wanted to say that, But again, thanks for the information, and I'm going to take out the contact the lawyers.
No problem, and thank you, Calvin, for telling me about the Philadelphia Bombers. That's my homework assignment. As soon as I get off the air at 1:01 p.m., I'm going to be checking that out. Calvin, thank you. And folks who want to be like Calvin, folks who want to be like Jerry, all you got to do is to give us a call. But first, we got to take a break, and we come back when we talk to Germantown Joe. But first, a break. WURD 96.1 FM.
The holistic colonoscopy, no IV sedation. Your colonoscopy is due. You don't have someone to drive you home. You don't want to drink the prep. You don't want to be sedated with the Michael Jackson drug propofol. Does that sound like you? Call Blake Gastroenterology at 215-849-4902. Visit the website www.jsblake.com and make your appointment today. Drive yourself home after the holistic colonoscopy.
Hey Philly, unless you're planning on enjoying summer vibes in the same sweatpants you wore for the past year, it's time to change things up. That's right, that Philly summer feeling is almost here. The city is ready, and so are all the shops, restaurants, and museums you've been missing. Get vaxxed, get dressed, and get back to all the things you love about Philadelphia. Go to ReadySetPhilly.com today to plan your triumphant return.
WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey. Brought to you by Comcast.
Email phishing scams are nothing new, but they get more convincing and sophisticated every day. In the past, you'd get fake emails that seemed to come from your bank or credit card company, but now you could also see messages that appear to come from Amazon, PayPal, or Netflix as well. So how can you spot a scam? Look for misspellings or grammar errors in the email message. Most phishing scams try to scare you with a sense of urgency in the message that tries to get you to click on a link or provide account information. And one of the biggest telltale signs of a phishing scam is the email address of the sender. Pay close attention to where the email came from. A scam email address is usually totally unrelated to the company it's claiming to represent. Remember, a legitimate company will never send an email asking you for sensitive personal information, so if you're unsure, call the company directly and never click any links or open any attachments in the message. Stay safe online, stay tuned to WURD for more tips, and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
The man's right. This is Black Talk Media. This is WURD 96.1 FM. This is WURD 900 AM. This is yours truly, Attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America, sitting in for my good friend, Charles Ellison, the learned and meticulous correspondent / host of Reality Check here at WURD. Big shout out to Charles. We'll be back in due course. Let's keep things moving. We appreciate the calls from Jerry, the calls from Calvin, and now we're going to go to Germantown and talk to my good friend, Joe. Joe, how are you today?
Good morning, Brother Mike, and hello to your wonderful producer, number 21. I just want to,
Yes.
I hope I'm not, blowing a secret, Brother Mike, but, a little bird told, don't tell Troy I told you, but number 21, Troy, he's a big baseball fan, too. And, of course, Troy does like black baseball
Yes.
as well. I just thought I'd slip that in there. I hope Troy wasn't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But Brother Mike, before I talk about anything about Bill Cosby, and so let me say a couple of things. Like your client that you represent in Chester County, See, Mike, the problem with that brother is that, Mike, see, he a young black man. He has to be a drug dealer. He can't work and get drive a BMW like anybody else. He has to be a drug dealer. So that's why they pulled him over, Mike. Because, he's not.
No doubt.
Right.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. You hit it on the head, Joe. And we're going to beat the case. Let me just say this very quickly. We had the preliminary hearing a couple of weeks ago. I love it when I'm the only black lawyer in the courtroom and I'm spinning circles around the white DAs and the white judges' heads so much they look at each other like, damn, what the hell are you talking about? And, Joe, I don't trust their court, so I bring in my own court stenographer, my own court reporter. I come in there with a custom-made suit, with a fancy briefcase, my own court reporter, setting up shop, making arguments that make them think I'm Thurgood Marshall or Johnny Cochran. Joe, I love it, man. And it's not about me. It's about them seeing a black lawyer run circles around them. Anyway, Joe, go ahead.
Exactly. And you're actually right, Mike, because like I said, Mike, it's a shame a young black man can't work a legitimate job and earn his money to buy a BMW or Mercedes or Lexus, any kind of he got to be a drug dealer. I mean, but in these United Snakes of America, especially under this mistreating.
And by the way, Joe, he actually works with and for a pastor. So he ain't no drug anyway, Joe. Go ahead, but you get the point, man.
Yeah, I get the point, Michael. Like I said, I'm not surprised. After that mistreating that was president 4 years ago, that mistreating. So I'm not surprised. The atmosphere in this country, man, it's just amazing. But Mike, real quick, Mike, I'm sure you saw the clip by now of Senator Anthony Hardy Williams. I think it was his cousin got to the altercation with the gentleman at the golf club. I think it happened last year or whatever. Anyway, the bottom. I'm sorry, what's that, Mike?
No, go ahead. I hear you.
What I was saying, Mike, is this. It's ironic it happened in Montgomery County, the same place where, Bill Cosby was convicted at. It's just, it could happen anywhere, don't get me wrong, but it's just always something that Montgomery County, their racism is so deep, man. It's just crazy. Because if I bring this up, Mike, no matter what one think of Bill Cosby, you said in your commentary the other day, you said that white juror who got right up there and said that, that Bill Cosby was guilty, we should all go home. He should have been dismissed
before any evidence was presented.
Exactly, Mike. But yet Judge Stephen O'Neill and Kevin Steele let this guy stay. But before I bring this up to you, Mike, in yesterday's Tribune, which you write beautiful articles, Freedom's Journal, and about make black dollars count, and I read them as many of those as I can, Mike. But here's the deal, Mike. And Tuesday Tribune, off you started, I think the writer's name was Stacey Brown, and they had a picture of Bill Cosby there. And Mike, this is why I want people to understand that if you really like Cosby, this is how they was trying to railroad him. In that first trial, Mike, and I guess you could probably say in the second one too, in the first one, they said they was getting ready to quit Cosby. That's from what I heard. They said that the jury was going to come to the acquittal, but Stephen O'Neill, the judge, said, look, deliberate more because they wanted the conviction so bad, and of course they wound up being a hung jury. Now, in the second trial, what happened was that in the second trial, they said Stephen O'Neill, and this is according to the argument. Check it out, Mike, when you get a chance. Tuesday Tribune. In the second trial, they said Stephen O'Neill, the judge, and Kevin Steele, they was coaching witnesses that was testified. They was actually coaching, which was against court rules. Mike, you're a lawyer, you know what I'm talking about. They was actually coaching them. And matter of fact, I remember vividly, Mike, during the second trial, Andrea Constantine, a legal expert that was there, said that she had perjured herself, but they still and what's name let it go on and stuff like that. So it was a gross case of prosecutor misconduct. And again, it's not whether you like Kyle, you could hate him or love him, but the fact that every defendant deserves a fair trial. Like you told the story the other day, you said you're the young man that tragically killed Officer Cassidy. You said, look, there's no doubt he did it. You said we saw him do it because, you said, but what you want me to do? You either got two choices. We can have a trial or a lynching.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
Chauvin. He's a despicable maggot of a human being, but under the Constitution, he deserves a trial, and he deserves a fair trial. And so the point is that this was people that they're emotional about Bill Cosby one way or another, especially ones that hate Cosby. They just want to say, be damn Bill Cosby, but the man was railroaded. He did not get a fair trial because, first of all, he shouldn't even went to trial. And when
That's
it did, but when it did, you're going to sit there and coach. You're a judge, and you're going to sit there and coach witnesses. You're going to, you let people perjure this stuff. A guy can get up there and say, before the trial started, Cosby's guilty, and you let him stay on the jury. Come on, you can't do stuff like that, Mike. You can't do stuff like that, man.
And Joe, I mean, you hit it on the head, and I'm so glad I'm not surprised that you understand this whole thing. But the example I give about my client, John Lewis, killing Officer Chuck Cassidy, I think that's a great example. But for folks who don't know anything about that, like you always talk about, look at the Derek Chauvin case. We saw him do it. We saw him do it. But did we just say throw him in jail? We said no, give him a trial. What's the difference between him and Bill Cosby?
And that's the way it works in this country. The person deserves a trial no matter what hideous act he or she is accused of doing. That's why you have laws. This is why, you don't want vigilantes and all this. Could be total anarchy and chaos. That's why you have a court system, man. And when the defendant go to court, well, again, you can hate Cosby till the cows go home, but he deserves to have a fair trial. When he went to trial, even though he shouldn't have went to trial, but once they went to trial, you had a duty under the law to give him a fair trial, and he didn't get that,
And Joe, the other thing I want to say, and I'll give you the final word, white people are consistent in their hypocrisy. After O.J. Simpson was found not guilty, based on how the law should have worked, do you know they started talking about changing the law in California so you no longer need a unanimous jury for a conviction. You can just use a majority. So they claim to be so much about their history and about their founding fathers and about their Constitution. But when black people play by the same rules and win, they want to change the rules of the game. I wouldn't be surprised, Joe, if they start talking in Pennsylvania about saying, from now on, it doesn't matter what one DA says. If one DA says something on Monday and another DA says something on Tuesday, we can pick whatever we want. I wouldn't be surprised, Joe, if they try to change the law to make that happen, only because a black man benefited from the rules of the system.
Oh, I agree, Mike. I agree with you. I expected that. Mike, it wouldn't surprise me if it's in the works right now because this is how vindictive these people are. That's why you always move the goalposts, Mike. But since you point these things out, Mike, you're accused of playing a race card. They always come with stuff. See, Mike, I'll close with this, Mike. See, when it comes to black people in particular, and I say this all the time, Mike, whether it be O.J. or Bill Cosby, whether it be the Israeli-Palestinian thing, be a black man or woman, they are not allowed, you're not supposed to speak on these things with truth and clarity. So when you speak on these things, like you said the other day about how Israel gave South Africa weapons to murder our people over there in Johannesburg and Soweto, when you bring this stuff up, you're an anti-Semite. But yet a crazy white girl who follows Donald Trump, Marjorie Green, she can say some idiotic things, and all you get from members of the Zionist, and I try to be careful, Mike, members of the Zionist community, because I know plenty of Jewish people that are good, and they don't support Israel's mistreatment of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. They hit you with the anti-Semitic thing to shut you up. But with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she come with some little half-hearted apology, and no sooner than she said that, Brother Mike, she said something else stupid. She said that you can compare the vaccines to Nazi Germany or whatever. Like, some little stupid stuff. And again, if that had been Minister Farrakhan, anybody said, they would have been calling, they would have had Negroes all over KYW, CNN denouncing the minister. But when people like her and Pat Buchanan, they say hateful stuff against Israel, the Jews, there's no kind of condemnation, not to the level, or they'll say something like this, Mike, well, Pat shouldn't say things like that. Like they say them on a first name basis, Pat shouldn't say things like that. But my God, if Mary Jeffries or the minister say something, oh my God, they black Hitlers, they anti-Semites. I mean, this kind of nonsense got to stop, man. It's got to stop, man. I get sick of it. And that's why, Mike, I applaud you for having the courage to speak. And you wasn't speaking on no hatred because you got Jewish friends. I got white Jewish friends. All you were saying is it's a matter of history. They did get weapons to the apartheid regime over there that was used to murder our people. That wasn't being, you just told a fact, man. You shouldn't be condemned for just telling the truth. The truth is the truth, man.
In fact, speaking the truth, as you and I talked about the other day, you can't call somebody an anti-Semite because you think they're biased against Jewish people. You can call them an anti-Semite if they're biased against Palestinians because the Palestinians live in the Semitic region. Palestinians are Semites. And one final thing I want to say, Joe, and I'll give you the final word. There's an organization that I support and even donate to. It's called Jews for Justice. These are Jewish people who support the rights of the Palestinians. And these Jewish people say that other Jews call Jews for Justice, quote, self-hating Jews, unquote, because they simply want to respect the rights of all human beings. So if anybody comes at you or anybody else claiming that if you don't support Israel, then you're anti-Semitic, ask them about a group called Jews for Justice for Palestinians. Joe, I'll give you the final 20 seconds.
I'm going to add one more, but and add this other group that's Justice Progressive, Mike, called Jewish Voices for Peace. And, Mike, if you get a chance, reach out to her. Her name is Phyllis Bennett. She's a Jewish American. I had the honor of having dinner with her at Islamic fundraising dinner a couple of years ago down in Bethesda, Maryland. This woman, she told me many times she's been called a self-hating Jew. Her name is Phyllis Bennett, and she's with Jewish Voices for Peace. So they just like Jewish Voices for Justice. They do the same kind of work, Mike. So reach out to her when you get a chance, okay?
I'm on it, Joe. Thanks for the info. Great insight, great info from Germantown Joe. And if you want to be like Joe or like Calvin or like Jerry, just give us a call. The numbers are 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. Toll free 866-361-0900. By the way, those who hear me on WURD 96.1 FM, those who hear me on WURD 900 AM, this sounds like a fluid show, and it is a fluid show. Everything is going like it's supposed to. But if you're watching me and watching me on WURD Facebook Live or WURD YouTube or WURD Twitch or even on the website at WURD TV Live, you probably see me with my head down looking at something. What I'm doing is looking at my phone because I'm getting some text from some people connected with the case from this morning, and one of them is somebody DA's office out there in Chester County, and I'm just wondering if they heard me talking about them on the radio, and now I'm in trouble. Or not. I'm not in trouble. I'm a free black man in America, so I can say whatever I want as long as it doesn't violate the FCC rules. So during our next commercial break, I'll be calling somebody back to see if maybe they were eavesdropping and heard me talk about racism in Chester County. If they did, so be it. You know how things go. Again, those of you who want to join us, you can do so in just about 30 seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side and talk to anybody and everybody who calls. I got to tell you, I got two topics I want to get in. I want to talk about this planned black boycott of racist white businesses here in Philly, and I want to talk to you about the help list to tell you how, for example, you can stop bill collectors from calling you on your phone at home, on your cell, at your job, at your friend and family's home. It tells you how you can get free legal advice, how you can get free computer repair service, and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's on the help list. I'll talk about that and the boycott after the break. WURD 96.1 FM.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
The Sweet Treat Hut is the highest rated juice bar in Philly, located on the corner of 50th and Thompson Streets, providing delicious, healthy vegan food, juices, and smoothies. Treat yourself to a cup of happiness. Call 215-877-1471.
Join Nick Taliaferro Wednesday, July 21st at 5 p.m. for a very special simulcast conversation on WURD and WVON Radio in Chicago. Hosted by WURD's own Nick Taliaferro and WVON's Matt McGill and Kimberly E. Goen on the impact of violence in Philadelphia and Chicago. That's Wednesday, July 21st at 5 p.m. exclusively on WURD Radio and WURDradio.com. Simulcast on WVON. Two of the only black-owned talk radio stations in the nation join forces for a powerful and timely conversation. Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
That is absolutely correct. This is Black Talk Media. And you can be a part of Black Talk Media. All you got to do is to give us a call. The numbers are 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. 866-361-0900. But before we talk to you and you talk to us, let me just announce this because it's very important. Are you looking for a job? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal featuring jobs from some of Philadelphia's leading companies and arts organizations. If you go to the portal right now, you will see jobs from WURD Radio, the Kimmel Center, Her Foods, Always Best Care, and more, much, much more. Apply for a job today. Go to our livelihood website at WURDworks.com. That's WURDworks.com. Once again, the numbers are 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. Once again, 866-361. Actually, 866-361-0900. I got it together. 866-361-0900. And by the way, I do want to get to the topics that I have on my agenda, but my agenda is fluid. And what I mean by fluid, it goes as it goes. If I can get it in now, I certainly will. If I can't get it in now, I'll wait until later. But I'm going to try it right now. But once you all call, I will certainly stop what I'm talking about to get what you want to talk about. What do I want to deal with first? Do I want to do the boycott or the help list? Let me do the boycott because I didn't get enough time yesterday to talk about it. And now that I do have the time, I will talk about it. I write a column for the Philadelphia Tribune. In fact, I write 2 columns for the Philadelphia Tribune. And the one is published every Sunday. It's called Freedom's Journal. And it addresses all types of issues affecting black folks. Freedom's Journal, every Sunday, Philadelphia Tribune. And I've been doing that for, I don't know what, 4 years, 5 years, whatever, something like that. And it turned out so well. It blew up so impressively that the editor said, hey, Mike, can you write another column? I know you're busy with your court stuff, and I know you're busy doing your WRD thing and your Temple thing and your other stuff, including writing that Freedom's Journal column every week. But can you do something where you focus exclusively on black economics? And if you could do this like once a month, we'd like to have you with a new column, let's say the first Tuesday of each month. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it should pertain exclusively to the black economy. And I said, I think I can do that once a month. That shouldn't be too bad. And I'm going to call it Black Dollars Matter. And in connection with that Black Dollars Matter, I started writing that, 3 months ago. And this past first Tuesday of July, I wrote a column, or I should say wrote an article in the Black Dollars Matter column, and it's entitled, White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down. White businesses must put up, shut up, or get shut down. And I want to be clear in terms of my approach. My thing is, don't get me wrong, I love what Jackie Robinson stood for, and I certainly love what Dr. King stood for. And these were great men who made it possible for me to get into college and for me to get into law school. And all the stuff I have today, I'm simply standing on their shoulders, standing on the shoulders of giants. So I respect them. But reasonable people can disagree without being disagreeable. And I really don't want to say disagree, because I don't disagree with Jackie Robinson's stance or Dr. King's stance. It's just that for me, it wouldn't have been either or. It would have been both and. I would have supported them and sat in at the lunch counters and done all that stuff and probably gone to Major League Baseball games after Jackie Robinson got signed. I might have done some of that to support them because it's important that black folks, even if they don't agree completely on everything, at least show the world that they're united. We can come back home and fight in the privacy of our own home, but once we go outside, we got to hold hands together. Let me just spend 2 minutes talking about this, and I'm going to get to Ali, and I'm going to get to Rukiah and everybody else who's waiting patiently. But give me 90 seconds, not even 2 minutes. So in this article entitled "White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down," here's how I started. And by the way, I want to be clear. So I support what Jackie Robinson was trying to do. I support what Dr. King was trying to do because these were great men trying to do great stuff. But I don't have the abused spouse mentality. And what I mean by the abused spouse mentality, whether you're a man or a woman, because women can beat up men sometimes. It's not just men beating up women. Mostly it is men beating up women. For the most part, it's a bigger, stronger person beating up the other person. So let's just use the example, the stereotypical example of the man beating up the woman. Even though folks don't be emailing me and at me on social media, I know that gay couples abuse each other, transgender couples abuse each other, heterosexual couples abuse each other, homosexual couples abuse each other. I got that, but I'm giving you a stereotypical example. So I'm not the abused spouse type where, let's say, in fact, let me just give you a hypothetical. You know, John is married to Mary, and everything's fine for the first couple years of the marriage, and all of a sudden John just goes crazy and he starts beating up Mary. And it's like every Friday night when he gets home from work, he gets drunk, he gets cranky, and he beats up Mary every Friday night. And Mary packs her bags late Friday night, stays out all day Saturday with her sister at home, at another home, and John calls her on Saturday 50 times apologizing and begging her to come back. She falls for it and comes back on Sunday. Things are cool for a couple months. Then that first Friday, comes home from work, gets drunk, gets cranky, beats up Mary again. She packs her bags, goes to stay at her sister's house. On Saturday, John calls her 50 times at her sister's house, begs her to come back, says he's sorry. And on Sunday, Mary comes back. At a certain time, Mary got to stop coming back. Mary is black folks. White folks have kidnapped us, have sold us, have bought us, have enslaved us, have beat us, whipped us, raped us, castrated us, second-classed us, and we keep coming back. At least John apologizes to Mary. The apology is BS, but at least he apologizes. White America doesn't apologize to us, and we keep coming back. I just can't imagine somebody saying, Mike, I know you want to buy this suit for, I don't know, let's say $1,500. But I'm not going to sell you this suit because you're black, and we don't allow blacks to buy stuff in our store. You telling me I'm going to organize a demonstration outside that store to force that white man to take my $1,500 for the suit? To hell with him. I'm not going to fight to force you to take my money. That's just crazy to me. What I'm going to do is to take my $1,500 to a black tailor, or I'm going to start a little school and teach young black boys and young black girls how to be tailors and build up their business, and then I'll patronize them. Black folks got to stop being the abused spouse to white America. So I want to say this, then I'm going to get to the calls. I'm not even going to get to the article now because I spent too much time talking about the other stuff. I got to get to the calls. My point is, I understand what Jackie Robinson was doing. I understand what Dr. King was trying to do, but I'm not going to force a person who hates me to take my money. I'm not going to make the person who hates me to become rich off of my back. So I'm encouraging all black people to support black businesses. But this is America. We make up 13% of the population. So there's some stuff that's sold that we don't sell, that we don't have stores for, that only, well, mostly white people have stores for. So we feel we got to go to those stores to get those products. Okay, I understand that. And I'm simply saying that in my article here entitled White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down, I'm saying those white businesses that we have to support in order to get what we need, because there's no competing black business. for those white businesses that we have to go to, they got to put up, they got to shut up, or they got to get shut down. And I wrote to some of the top white businesses in Philly and asked them questions about how many black people y'all got there, and what positions are they in, and what kind of consumer-based servicing do you have for black folks who patronize your business. I mean, it's a really thorough letter, if I may say so myself, and I'm going to give you an update in the end of the month about what each of these companies said. I got to tell you, some of these big-name companies were cool. They got back to me immediately with some really impressive stats. Others either said, hey, we'll get back to you shortly, or just ignored me. Those who ignored me, they ignored me at their peril, because I'm going to put them on blast. Having said that, let's go to the phone lines, because folks have been patient. They dial 215-634-8065 or 866-361-0900. And they can talk about legal stuff, or they can talk about cultural stuff, or they can talk about political stuff, or they can talk about historical stuff, or they can talk about current events, gun violence, whatever y'all want to talk about. That's what we're talking about. First up, Ali, Southwest. Ali, how are you today?
Fine, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Fighting the good fights, winning most of them. How can we help you, or how can you help us?
Okay, Mike. First of all, I'm a first-time caller.
Take your time. Take your time, sir.
I listen to your program on Sundays, and also when you're a guest host on shows like, But, but
like
the reason
this one.
the reason I'm calling, Mike, I had an experience. First of all, I'm a Muslim. I had an experience. I go to Juma prayer over on 43rd and Walnut Street. And on Friday of last week, I parked my car. There's a supermarket called Supermo on the southeast corner, I believe it is, of Walnut Street. I parked my car in that lot. It's not the first time I parked in a lot, because I parked in there quite a few times. But this particular Friday, last Friday, Mike, I parked my car to go to Juma prayer. And as I was pulling into the lot, or when I was parking my car in the lot, I noticed that there was a tow truck on the lot. I didn't pay any attention to it. To get to my point is this. When I came out of the Juma, my car had been towed.
Whoa.
So I immediately, there was a brother that was on the lot from, he was a brother from the continent. He filmed the guy towing my car. He actually took on his phone, he actually filmed the guy going into my car. In other words, using a Slim Jim going into my car. So when I called the tow company, they had a sign up there that says, bargains for customers only. All right, I understand that I was on the lot. But the point I'm making is this, Mike. They only enforce this on Fridays when we are having Juma, because they have towed quite a few Muslim cars off that lot, only on Fridays. And here's the thing that got me really upset, is when I went to get my car, it cost me $207.
Ooh.
When I went to get my car, there was a ticket from the parking authority that was $26 parking ticket. Now, I know, or at least I thought, that the parking authority could not go on private property and issue tickets.
And you are right about both. And the reason why, now there are some exceptions to that public-private thing, but generally speaking, you're right. How do I know? Because I hate the parking authority, and I fight the parking authority, and I beat the parking authority. And I had a situation similar to yours where I went to speak at an event at Temple's Law School, and I parked at a lot up the street on Broad Street. I'm not going to name, it's near the movie theater. But anyway, long story short, and when I come back, the guy's towing my car. Anyway, and I had a ticket on it, like you just mentioned. So I can tell you how you can fight that and how you can beat that. So that's the first thing about the public-private property thing. The second thing is a little more complicated, because even if they're only towing cars of Muslims, they have a legal argument if the cars they towed were in violation. So let's say it's 100 cars in that lot, and 75 are to Christians and 25 are to Muslims. But they don't tow any of the 75 Christian cars. They only tow the 25 Muslim cars. The problem is that those 25 Muslim cars were parked illegally in that lot. So it's going to be a more difficult. If the tow truck company would just tow in any cars owned by any Muslims at any location, yeah, you got an argument. But in the case of a Muslim whose car was towed, he or she has to be in a position of saying, first of all, you should not have towed my car because it was not illegally parked. But if it was illegally parked, you can't say, hey, I'm not guilty because the Christian did the same thing and you didn't go after him. I'm going to give you the final word, Ali. It's almost like this. Let's say a Muslim shoots somebody and a Christian shoots somebody, but the police only arrest the Muslim who shot somebody and didn't arrest the Christian. Well, the Muslim's defense can't be, hey, I'm not guilty because the Christian did the same thing, but you didn't arrest him. The only thing the Muslim can say is that I'm not guilty because I didn't do it. So I just want to be clear. If we could show that they only targeted people who were Muslim, there might be a civil lawsuit that you can file, possibly, to talk about discrimination and bias and all that. But in terms of arguing against the ticket, your defense can't be somebody else is guilty like me. Your defense can only be, I'm not guilty. I was not illegally parked. I was not on that lot. You don't seem to have that right now. But, Ali, I'll give you the final word if you want to correct me on anything or if you want to add anything.
Okay, Mike. Well, I heard you earlier talking about a boycott. When you were talking about boycott, what I plan to do is when I go to Juma on Friday, is ask the imam to announce to all Muslims in that area, in that particular area around there, it's like an international multicultural area. There's people from Ethiopia, Morocco, different.
Yes.
So what I'm going to ask the imam to do is call for a boycott of Muslims going into that supermarket and not buying from that supermarket.
Ali, you hit it on the head, man. What you just said is better advice than I just gave you, because money talks, BS walks. If those people who own that lot know that those stores in and around that lot won't get that dollar bill, man, they'll straighten up immediately. I need you to do this, Ali, because I like the way you think. You need to email me at michaelcordx@gmail.com. michaelcordx@gmail.com. That's MichaelCoard, the letter X as in Malcolm X. That's michaelcordx@gmail.com. Tell me a little bit more about what you're planning to do concerning that boycott, and I'll help you in every single way I can. I love the way you think. I love the way you're pursuing this, and I want to help you make this right. All that legal stuff I was talking about, that's all good, but the buck stops with the dollar. If you hurt them financially, they'll respect you culturally. Ali, please email me, michaelcordx@gmail.com, or call me through my organization Attack at 215-552-8751. That's ATAC, Avenging the Ancestors Coalition Attack, 215-552-8751. I'll be happy to help you.
Okay, Mike, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Like I say, I'm a first-time caller, but it's not the first time that you and I have met.
Okay.
I met you on several occasions. I'm a photographer.
Okay.
And I met you a couple of times at one of your events. One event that stands out mostly took place in 2019 when you had the event down at 5th and Market Street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I took photos of the event, and you and I talked, and I told you I would email you the photos.
Let me say this. I remember you well now that you said what you said, and not only are you a photographer, you are a great photographer, and you made that event an overwhelming success, because even though we had, I don't know, at least 500 or more people present, beyond that, I was able to take your excellent photographs and splash them all over social media, and they went viral. So yes, I do remember you. You're not just a photographer, you're a great photographer. And believe me, not only did you help attack by putting the word out through your great photos, you refuse to take any money for it. You refuse to get paid for it. So yeah, I remember you. Thank you very much. I was going to work with you on this boycott idea anyway, but now that I recall who you are, I'm right there front and center. In fact, I think you even have my cell number. If you do, text me.
I do.
If not, okay, well, text me. Text me and remind me, and we'll get together.
I do, Mike, because you did give me your number, and I still have it, so I will text you.
Sounds good. Ali,
appreciate
thank you very much. And I got to tell you, folks, Ali from Southwest must be thorough because I don't give people my cell numbers. Not that I'm a snob or not that I'm an elitist, but when I first started practicing law, I would give people my cell number, and that was the worst mistake in my life because for them, everything was an emergency, not just for them, but for their cousin, for their coworker, for their neighbor. I don't care if it's 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. They would call me 24/7. I used to give them my home number. Same thing. So now I don't even give out my law office number publicly. I only give out my organizational number, and that's attack. You know, if folks want to track me down for legal stuff or whatever, you got to find me. There's ways you can do it, but I don't announce my cell number in public. I don't even announce my law office number because I'm not here to get clients from WURD. You know, if you want to track me down for some legal stuff, you can do that. But anyway, big shout out to Ali from Southwest. Great photographer, great black man, great Muslim. He and I are going to work together to see what we can do to boycott these folks who are disrespecting Muslims. Let's keep things moving. Next up, waiting patiently, is Sister Ruqayya. How are you today? How can we help you, or how can you help us?
Good morning, Michael. I'm doing well today, and thank you so much for hosting the show. I've learned so much from you this week, and I really do appreciate all the work you're doing to help wake people up.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to make sure that you and your listeners know about the case of Sanaa Beaufort. I was out at the Montgomery County Courthouse yesterday where there was a protest rally because Sanaa Beaufort is a Muslim girl who was in North Penn High School, and she was being bullied online. And finally, the girls who were bullying her attacked her in the high school, had her down on the floor, fighting her, pulled off her hijab, and I know you know what that is, pulled off her hijab and created such a scene. And finally, the school security officers came in, stopped the fight, lifted her up off the floor, and let her walk through the school in the cafeteria with no hijab at all.
Ooh. Oh.
So you know, she let CARE Philadelphia know. CARE Philadelphia got involved, and the school made an apology that they hadn't listened to her complaints because this had been going on for a while, and they got everything settled in the school. But now Mr. District Attorney Kevin Steele wants to accuse Sanaa Beaufort of being a criminal and went to her house the other day and took her down and took her fingerprints. They haven't brought charges against her, but they want to charge her with fighting and using a weapon, and all she did was use her book bag to fight back the girl. She had to do something.
I'm assuming and hoping she has, one, a good lawyer, and two, eyewitnesses. Don't tell me the lawyer's name if you know it, but does she have her own private attorney?
She has an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
She has an attorney.
Okay.
For eyewitnesses, there were school kids there who saw everything that happened. In fact, they were at the rally yesterday supporting her. She's gotten wide support from that community there in Montgomery County.
That's great to know. And by the way, those of you out there who want to know what Sister Ruqayya is talking about in regard to CAIR, that's C-A-I-R, and it stands for Council on American Islamic Relations. And the best way I can describe CAIR is it's pretty much like an NAACP for Muslims. It's a major advocacy organization, and if you're Muslim and you've been victimized in any way, you want to get some backup, some muscle. And there are a lot of Islamic organizations that can do it, but I don't think any do it better than CAIR. So I'm so glad to know that the young sister did reach out to them. Let me ask you this, Ruqayya. Do you know if anybody is organizing any public support for the sister? Is there a website? Is there an email address? Is there a phone number? Is there some social media announcements?
There is now a petition on Change Incorporated, and that petition amount is 35,000 signatures, and right now she's at about almost 32,000. They say she's almost near the largest amount of signatures that they've ever had on a petition. So that petition is there. I put it on my Facebook page. I'm trying to spread this information around as much as possible. CARE is doing, CARE is, like I said, working with her. There was on, I think, Channel 10 last night. They had the video of the rally yesterday, and they even had a video of the fight that happened in the school. That was on Channel 10 yesterday.
Well, Sister Rakai, I'm glad you called. By the way, do you happen to know the name of the petition? Because I want to direct everybody to change.org, but do you know what the petition is specifically being called?
I can't think right now this moment. Can I email that to you?
Yes, email that to me at michaelcourtx@gmail.com, and I'll put that out there because people need to know the strength in numbers. And what you did today, Sister Rakai, is extremely important. We need to know about this stuff so we can support our people. So you made my day with this call. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I just want to mention again that the DA prosecutor out there is Kevin Steele, as everyone knows. And, I'm thinking, why is even like Malcolm X said, they'll have you thinking that the victim is the criminal and the criminal is the victim. And that's what's happening in this case. And so he has to charge 2 Caucasian girls. Sorry, I'm talking really fast.
Well, yeah, plus we got to run because we're up against the clock, but we did get the pertinent information. You're going to email me regarding that change.org petition, and I'm going to be back on my regular show Sunday. Please call me again on Sunday and announce it once again so we can put the word out. Thank you very much for the call. That's some powerful information. Folks, we're running behind schedule, up against the clock. We'll be right back at WURD 96.1 FM.
Are you an educator looking for a life-changing opportunity? Youth Build Philly Charter School might be the home for you. Apply to Youth Build to join a family of educators dedicated to learning and growing with young people. Check out current opportunities at youthbuildphilly.org or follow them on social media at YouthBuildPHL. Join Youth Build today. Youth Build is now accepting applications for the class of 2021.
Stage Door, focusing on arts and culture in and around Philadelphia. Hosted by Tiffany Bacon and co-moderated by Jeffrey Page of the Philadelphia Theater Company. Part of The Source, Fridays at noon, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Sponsored by New Voices sponsor Comcast, NBC Universal, and Pico. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at WURD. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
That's correct. This is Black Talk Media. This is WURD. Join WURD for our Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour. This year, we celebrate West Oak Lane, Mantua, North, West, and South Philly. Tiffany Bacon, our own Tiffany Bacon, will broadcast live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. The tour kicks off Friday, July 16th. That's tomorrow, at the Cobbs Creek Recreation Center, 2800 Cobbs Creek Parkway. Enjoy live performances, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community. Show your support and join or renew your WURD membership on site and win tickets to the 20th anniversary Tasty Treats Party featuring WURD's own DJ, Mike Nice, and Amir Questlove Thompson from The Roots. From The Roots, I said. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour beginning Friday, July 16 at the Cobbs Creek Recreation Center from 10 a.m. till 12 noon. Those of you want to join in the conversation and be like Sister Rukiah and Brother Ali and Joe and Calvin and Jerry, give us a call. The numbers are 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900. 866-361-0900. Waiting patiently for us is Tiffany. We want to go to Tiffany and see how we can help Tiffany or how Tiffany can help us. How are you today?
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well, fighting the good fights, winning most of them.
Good. I wanted to say thank you for allowing us to say, announce the rally. We were successful in terms of the land bank voting no to the city properties for 115 market rates. So I want to say
in fact, let me just stop you there so you can just go into a little more detail to explain to the listening audience what you're talking about. I mean, you know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but it might be some new or different listeners who are not familiar with the background. So just fill them in.
Well, you know what? I would prefer to call you back. The reason why I'm calling you today because I have Jerome Wack on the line with me. He is the first-time caller, so I wanted to.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
He reached out to us because a developer trying to attach to his building. He's had the pharmacy, Christian Street Pharmacy, for 35 years in Graduate Hospital area, serving the black community. And a developer purchased the property next door to him and was building 14 $1 million homes in Graduate Hospital area. But anyway, they wanted to attach to his building. The reason why it's a criminal case, because I'm going to tell a story briefly, is the fact that, and our concerns, we can't have this happening to other African-American property owners. The thing is that they want to attach his property, but then when he refused to let them do that, he kind of court. I don't know what happened. He'll tell you the details because I don't want to say anything improper. However, when he didn't let them do that, he got arrested and charged. He'll tell you what the charge is, 3rd degree. And now... And
I'll take that call, but you and I are talking pretty long, and then he's going to talk, and we got to get to other callers. Plus, we can't do a legal consultation or the radio. But you can bring him on, and we can talk for 30 seconds. Then he can email me.
Go ahead, Jerome.
Hi, my name is Jerome Wack. Yes, Tiffany. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, but we can't make this a legal consultation over the radio airways. But you can just give me a summary. Tell me what you need, and then we can talk in more detail via email or phone. But in 30 seconds, let me know what you need, and I'll be happy to assist you.
Okay.
Okay, we need assistance. I need assistance in bringing this case forward. I've been arrested, no prior arrest, for 3rd-degree criminal trespass on my own property because this developer came and tried to, attach to my roof without my permission or consent. Right now, the judge has held me in contempt of court, and I could be arrested the 23rd of this month if I do not let this man on my property to finish his project. He needs to finish the back of his building. He needs to put siding on them, but he needs to be on my patio to do that. He's broke into my backyard the 13th of May this year, caused damage to my air conditioner, my shed, my gate, and everything. The police
All right, let's stop there
because,
again, what I never, I got the picture. I appreciate that, but I never, ever want my show or a show that I'm guest hosting to turn into a personal legal consultation, because that would be unfair not only to the station but to other folks who are talking about general stuff. What you're talking about is a particular legal issue for you personally, and I'll be happy to assist you, but we can't do that over the radio airways. Having said that, let me ask you this. Is this a Philadelphia case or some county case?
Philadelphia, the DA.
Okay, that's good. That's good, because I was hoping it was Philadelphia, because I did hear you say that you have no criminal record. I heard you say you were charged with criminal trespass, and I'm assuming they're charging it as a misdemeanor as opposed to a felony, and there's certain things that could be done. So what you need to do is to email me and call me. Email is michaelcordx@gmail.com, MichaelCoard, the letter X as in Malcolm X. That's michaelcordx@gmail.com. And I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Or you can call my ATTAC organization. ATTAC is ATAC, Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. That number is 215-552-8751. 215-552-8751. And when you call or when you email, just remind me that you and I spoke today. Give me more of the background details. I'll get back to you and assist you. Now, in regard to that whole contempt thing, unfortunately, the law is what the man with the power says it is. And the man with the power in this case is the judge. If the judge is telling you that you have to let this person onto your property, that judge got the power because he got cops and sheriffs with guns to back him up. So I would strongly encourage you not to resist that, because that's a fight you can't win. I don't know what you have at your home, an arsenal, an army, whatever, but the sheriff's department, the police, they got a bigger arsenal and a bigger army. So you're going to have to relent and let them do their thing, and then later on follow the laws. It's almost like confronting a cop on the street. Yeah, the cop can talk garbage to you all day long, and you better not say anything back. Otherwise, you get shot down. But what you can do is sue the cop later. So I need you to just email me or call me. We'll talk more about the details. But right now, I'm strongly advising you to submit to the judge's order. Otherwise, you will be held in contempt, and you could be locked up for 5 months, 29 days. That's 5 months, 29 days on a contempt. You don't need that kind of smoke. So call me or email me. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you very much for that call. We got to keep things moving. Those who want to join in, the numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, or toll free 866-361-0900. Once again, 866-361-0900. Now we're going to jump to South Philly and talk to Jerome. Jerome, how can we help you, or how can you help us? And Jerome, are you with us?
Tom.
Okay, we got a Tiffany, we got a Jerome, and now you're saying your Tom. Okay, you know your name, your Tom. How can we help you?
I need some advice for you. I disagree with you sometimes, and I respect you like I do. This case over in Jersey. I watched this big black man. I don't know who they hate the worst, the white guy or the black guy. The man walked to this man's house with a cup on his head, pushed him, spit in his face. And he say he controlled himself. That's the way he was trained in the Air Force or something. I was like, you imagine me and you would have did that to him? He'd have knocked us out. And what is wrong with some of our people? We'll kill each other for our iPhone. Or you disrespect me. One guy told me yesterday, I said, don't walk on my flowers, man. He say, you want no parts of me. I've been upstate. A black guy told me that.
I was a couple of things, Tom. I didn't hear everything you said, but my producer did hear everything, and he asked me to tell you you have to watch your language. So apparently you must have said something that was inappropriate. I missed it, but my producer is sharper than me, so he caught it. So you can continue to talk, but just make sure you don't say anything that's appropriate in any way whatsoever. But I heard the last part of what you said. At this point, I agree with you. There's a lot wrong with a lot of black people, and we need to get our act together. The other thing, you started out by saying that you disagree with some of the things I say. Well, I'm like, well, welcome to the club, because everybody disagrees with something. Somebody says people would disagree with Jesus. There are people who disagree with Dr. King. So I'm not sure why you mentioned you disagree with some of the things I say. I understand that, but nobody agrees with anything everybody says, but I respect that and appreciate that. And Tom, before we go, is there anything you want to say, anything you want to add? I want to give you the final word.
Only thing I wanted to say here, I couldn't understand him say, well, he didn't want to get no violence because that's the way he was trained. And the man done spit up in his face and went to his house. And the guy, he said this guy been doing this since 1992. Hello?
I got you. I hear you. I'm not sure, Tom, what you want me to say.
You think me and you could have got away with that?
I know you and I would have never gotten away with that. No doubt about it.
I told a cop the other day, I said, I got to get to this plug so I can get the water out of this plug. A car was parked there. It was a black cop, too. He said, oh, well, I'm going to see if I can find out who owned it. I said, ain't you going to put a ticket on it? He looked at me and smiled. 25th Jackson. Because he knew what time it was.
Tom, you're absolutely correct, and we appreciate you calling. By the way, Tom, I don't recognize your voice. It seems to me that in regard to my show or me guest hosting, you're a first-time caller. Please don't be a stranger, Tom. Continue to call WURD 96.1 FM. We appreciate your call, Tom. And to the previous caller, Jerome, I understand now because Troy just enlightened me that Jerome and Tiffany were together. They were not separate callers. And I'm just going to ask folks, please, no disrespect, but don't do that. Don't do that. You know, if person A wants to call for person A, then person A call. If person B wants to call for person B, then person B call. But person A don't call for person C or D or E because that just confuses things. And I'm sure that person B or C is a grown man or grown woman. You know, anyway, enough of that. Plus, it confuses me. Let's keep things moving. Those who want to join in can do so. Like Prince. Prince is waiting patiently. Prince, how are you today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
And first, Prince, before I get started, please tell me you're calling for yourself and not for somebody else.
I'm calling for myself and the fact that we represent Cheney University. How about that?
Well said, man. That's perfectly stated. How can we help you, man? How can you help us? Did we lose Prince? Hey, Prince, it seemed like you hung up on us. I know you're a busy man, Prince, so you might have been doing something else. So, Prince, give us a call back. You know the numbers, 215-634-8065. 215-634-8065. I got to tell you, Troy Wilmore is the best producer. He gives me second-by-second updates. He said, hey, Mike, no problem. Apparently, Prince's call dropped. So he might have been in a bad area, didn't have the reception, and therefore he got dropped. Not by us, by his phone provider. So Prince from Schuylkill, call us back. As soon as you call us, we'll get right back to you and put you up. Those of you who want to join in can do so, 215-634-8065, toll free, 866-361-0900. I know people are going to say, come on, Mike, you said that too fast. Slow it down. And you're right. I do speak fast sometimes. Let me do it slower. 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065, toll free, 866-361-0900. That's 866-361-0900. Before our commercial break, we want to talk to Cynthia in Lansdowne. Cynthia, how are you? How can we help you, or how can you help us?
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking.
I'm supporter of WURD, okay? Mm-hmm. So this is, look, I have two situations, but this one is more important. You know our phones record, our phones take pictures and things like that.
Absolutely.
So my daughter lives in Pittsburgh. I really wasn't going to put this on the air, but I think I do need to do this. And it's because I think a lot of people do not understand that our phones can put you in jail.
Yes. Keep talking.
So the bottom line is my daughter had her water turned off in Pittsburgh, and the young lady that she spoke to told her if she brought the money in the next day that they wouldn't turn the water off. But my daughter recorded her conversation because she said she wanted to make sure that she did everything like she told her to do. Before the next day even came about, the water was shut off, I guess that night or whatever. So her and her son had to go downtown Pittsburgh for a doctor's appointment. And while they were there, she called them and said, y'all shut the water off. And she said the woman told her, I told you 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:30. My daughter responded, you didn't say the time. You just said, make sure that I pay the water the next day. Therefore, she said, no. My daughter said, I recorded you, and this is what you said. So bottom line, she went over her head. They turned her water back on immediately. But that happened 3 months ago. So now we're in July. This is where I'm trying to tell people they better understand these laws. They put it down as she was wiretapping. Now, we know this is not wiretapping. It should have been just illegal recording, if anything. But it's the way you word things that make it sound criminal. So now she's up for a felony, and she had a $5,000 bond put on her.
In fact, Cynthia, hold on 1 second, because we got to take a quick commercial break, and what you just talked about is very important, and I don't want to cut you off without addressing it. Hold on. We'll be right back. WURD 96.1 FM.
Hey, WURD family. Did you hear? It's official. The Colorectal Cancer Alliance just announced the new age for colon cancer screenings has been officially lowered to age 45 for everyone. If you are 45 or older, it's time to get screened. Go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner to register for your free at-home screening test. Did you know colon cancer is largely preventable with on-time screening? And there's a 90% survival rate when caught early. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colon cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. So for the next 3 months, you can go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner for your free at-home screening test. A screening navigator will contact you to ask a few questions and help you get screened. It's that simple. Again, just go to WURDradio.com, click on the Go to Know banner, and fill out the form to request your free at-home screening test. Go to Know today.
The Holistic Colonoscopy. No IV sedation. Your colonoscopy is due. You don't have someone to drive you home. You don't want to drink the PrEP. You don't want to be sedated with the Michael Jackson drug propofol. Does that sound like you? Call Blake Gastroenterology at 215-849-4902. Visit the website www.jsblake.com and make your appointment today. Drive yourself home after the Holistic Colonoscopy.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at WURD. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
The man's right. This is Black Talk Media, and this is yours truly, attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America, sitting in for my good friend, the learned, the studious, and the meticulous Charles Ellison, host of Reality Check. Charles has me sitting in and doing my thing in place of his thing today because he's taking a well-deserved break, and not just a break, you know, he's out researching and doing the stuff he does. He'll be back in due course to continue his progressive and enlightened shows here at WRD Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. We have on the line one of our callers. And by the way, I love when people like Cynthia from Lansdowne calls, because when they ask questions about the law, it doesn't just pertain to that caller. It pertains to everybody who's listening, or a friend or family member or whatever, because it helps everybody. But Cynthia, I don't want you to go into any more explicit detail, because I don't want the authorities to know any more than they already know about what you and I are talking about. But let me just say this. Pennsylvania is what we lawyers call a two-party consent state. In other words, before I can record a conversation with you, Cynthia, I have to tell you or make it plain to you that I am recording you and get your consent. And when I say recording, I mean not just a telephone recording, but a video recording of the conversation. Because you have a recording of my voice on the phone, and you also have my knowledge, or I should say you also have my voice about the fact that I am speaking to you. So when I say a two-party consent law, that means that both parties have to consent to the recording. Now, I want to be clear. The next question is, what does consent mean? Does consent mean, okay, Cynthia calls Michael X on the phone, and I'm assuming that nobody else is listening to the conversation between me and Cynthia. So Cynthia has to say, hey, Michael X, I want to record what you're saying to me right now. Do I have your consent? If I say no, Cynthia's got to stop it. But let's say we're out on the street in the middle of Center City, Broad Market, and Cynthia walks up to me and pulls out her phone, and she's recording my face and my voice. And she's saying, hey, Michael Cord, I want to know about X, Y, and Z, why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that, why you took all my money for this case and didn't do what you're supposed to do. And she's recording me. Now, I can clearly see that she has the camera in my face. And if I start telling her, hey, I'm sorry, I stole your money, I spent your money, I'm going to pay you back, I see the camera in front of me. I know it's recording, so the argument could be that I consented because I could see what was going on. But if it's a phone conversation, I'm not really consenting. So I just want to be clear, Cynthia. Pennsylvania is a two-party consent state, and I'm not sure exactly what the authorities are claiming your daughter did, and I don't want you to say too much more over the phone, but I just want you to know that when I say a two-party consent state, not only is that true, but it's called wiretapping when you do it. whether it's you doing it by your landline, you're doing it by your cell phone, or anything else. So it's all called wiretapping, even though people who are not lawyers might not understand it to be wiretapping, but it's a violation of, and this is what it's called, so you can Google it for yourself. In fact, I encourage you to do so you can know more about it. It's called Pennsylvania's Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Communications Act. I should say Control Act. Once again, Pennsylvania's Wiretap and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. And for you to get more information about that, just Google those words. Pennsylvania Wiretap and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. But if you want to be like a lawyer, just go to 18, and I'm just going to say this slowly so people can write it down, 18 PACS 5701. 18 is the volume. PACS stands for Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, and 5701 is the section. All that I just told you is part of the Pennsylvania Crimes Code, and it explains what you do to violate Pennsylvania's Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. So I want to say this before I hear from you, Cynthia, and I will give you the final word. Okay. Even though you might not understand that by recording somebody under certain circumstances without their consent constitutes wiretapping from a legal standpoint, it does. Cynthia, you might have to give me more information by email or by calling my organization, because again, I don't want to say too much over the airwaves since apparently your daughter's been arrested. But Cynthia, anything you want to add, go ahead.
Your information. I was kind of reluctant to put it on air, but then I said the heck with it, because I think so many people do not know this law. They don't know.
Yep.
And so
yes, keep talking. You're right.
And so for me, I just said, you know what? I'm WRD. I believe in us as people, and we're supposed to let people know. So I decided, you know what? I need to tell people, you got to be careful with these phones, your videos, and your recording, because they're jamming us.
Yep. And they're jamming people who are, it's one thing if your daughter, called somebody maliciously in a sneaky fashion to try to get them to admit to something, on the down low. She didn't try to do that. She was trying to get a record to show her side of the story in case something else came up later. But ignorance of the law is no defense. You can't say, hey, I didn't know what the Pennsylvania Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act says. Hey, I didn't know that this might have constituted wiretapping. Hey, I never read Volume 18 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, Section 5701. You can't use that defense. So anyway, I need more information from you because I can offer you some suggestions or your daughter regarding some defense strategies. So email me at michaelcoard@gmail.com, MichaelCoard, the letter X, michaelcoardx@gmail.com, or call me through my attack organization. That's ATAC, Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. That number is 215-552-8751, 215-552-8751. And Cynthia, although all the calls we got today were great calls, I really enjoyed your call because you said what needed to be said, that people don't know the law, and by not knowing it, they could get themselves in big trouble. If you had not mentioned that, people listening now would have known nothing about Pennsylvania being a two-party consent state. Thanks to you, they now know. Cynthia, email me. We'll talk about the details. I'll be happy to help your daughter. Great call from a great caller. That was Cynthia. And by the way, I'm hoping that we get Prince back because Prince always has something great to say. We lost him because his phone dropped, and it's probably because he was in a bad area with horrible reception. And he's probably still driving through there. So maybe he can hear us on the radio but can't call us. We encourage you, Brother Prince from Schuylkill, to give us a call back whenever you are able. I'll be here on the airwaves until 1 p.m. And don't forget, folks, I still got to get through my Tribune article entitled White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down. That's all in regard to my plans for this major boycott. I'm taking a page out of the book of Cecil B. Moore. I'm taking a page out of the book of Reverend Leon Sullivan. I'm using those wise elders/ancestors to do in 2021 what they did in the 60s and the 70s. Great stuff from great men. In about 3 minutes, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Here are the numbers. Call us back after that, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. Toll free, 866-361-0900, 866-361-0900. Let me spend 2 minutes before the break just telling you about this article. Now, here's how it goes. If you want to read it, you want to get a copy of the Philadelphia Tribune. Again, this article, or I should say this column, is published the first Tuesday of each month. So that means the first Tuesday of this month was July 6th. So in the July 6th edition of the Philadelphia Tribune is my article in my column. The column has been going on for about 3 months now, and the column is called Black Dollars Matter. The article that was published in the July 6th edition is entitled White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down. Let me just read the pertinent portion, the highlighted portion for like a minute and a half, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we come back, we're going to talk to Michael in North Philly, but we don't want to cut Michael off, so we're going to hold Michael until after the break, and then we'll hear everything Michael has to say. But here's the article. It goes like this. This is volume 3 of my monthly column entitled Black Dollars Matter. And then I explained that although this column will light a fire under white businesses that treat black consumers with contemptuous disrespect, it is designed to ignite an inferno under black people who finance that racism. In other words, black people who pay white businesses to be racist toward them. That's some crazy stuff. Then they're going to point out that the total population of Philadelphia is about 1.6 million persons. And of those 1.6 million persons, the black population in Philly is the 4th largest in America, with about 44% of the population. Do the math. 44% of 1.6 million is about almost, very close to 700,000. So we got nearly 700,000, exact numbers, something like 690,000. But let's round it off to 700,000. So we got about 700,000 black folks here in Philadelphia. Why do we tolerate white businesses not hiring black people? Why do we tolerate white businesses not promoting black people? Why do we tolerate white businesses acting in a disrespectful manner to black consumers? Why do we support those businesses? Why do we make them rich because they're racist? Well, I got the answers to those questions. I got the solution to the problem. It's all here in this article, and you can get it by going to phillytrib.com, type in CORD, C-O-A-R-D, and type in white businesses. But I'm going to tell you more about this, and I'm going to tell you about the help list. What's the help list? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. After we talk to Michael, I'll tell you what the help list is. First to break, WURD 96.1 FM.
It's time to break free from whatever screen you've been glued to for the past year. Backs up to get back to all the things you love about Philly. The city is ready for you. Go to ReadySetPhilly.com to plan your triumphant return.
Tune in this Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Islam Today show with a perspective on moral guidance and Islamic principles and values.
Are you looking to hire diverse talent? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal to help connect you with diverse talent in Philadelphia and beyond. If you would like to have your jobs featured on our job portal, give us a call at 215-425-7875 or send us an email at sales@wordradio.com. Check out the job portal today on our livelihood website at wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com and click jobs.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Independent Black Media. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Yep, this is Black Talk Media. This is yours truly, attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America, sitting in for Charles Ellison, host of Reality Check. I always talk about Charles being learned. I talk about Charles being thorough. I talk about Charles being meticulous, and I really mean that. He does a deep dive when he talks about issues concerning black folks and talks about them very well here at WRD. Big shout out to Charles Ellison for allowing me, yours truly, to be sitting in the big chair this past Monday from 10 to 1, this past Tuesday from 10 to 1, yesterday, which was Wednesday, from 10 to 1, and today. And today, really, I wasn't scheduled to be on. I was supposed to be in court in Chester County, specifically in Westchester, which is located in Chester County, on a major drug case, a pre-trial hearing on a major drug case. But things fell apart the last minute, so I was able to get out of that foolishness. And by the way, those of you who are checking us out on WURD Facebook Live or YouTube or Twitch, or watching us at WURD TV Live, you see me. And a few times, or several times, you've seen me with my head down. And I had my head down because I thought I was kind of sort of in trouble, because I've been saying some stuff on the radio about this Westchester case, and the DA, or one of the assistants of the DA, was trying to reach me. And I thought maybe they were listening to the show and wondering why I was talking about racism in their quote-unquote wonderful county. But it was something much different. I'm good. Let me just say this before we get to Michael. And Troy Wilmore, our producer extraordinaire, he will might remember this story. Years ago, Johnny Sample was hosting a show. I don't know how long ago it was, 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was. Johnny Sample was unavailable. It was during a July 4th weekend. So Johnny asked me to sit in for him. And I had just started a death penalty murder trial. And we had obviously finished up on whatever it was, July 2nd, July 3rd, and was supposed to come back after the holiday break, like July 6th or 7th. So I'm going to make this a very short story, because you got to get to Michael, who's waiting patiently. I'll give you the 20-second version. So I get back to court after the July 4th break, after sitting in for Johnny Sample, and the judge orders me in the back. And I go in the back with DA, and there's a cop with the DA and the judge. And the judge says, Mr. Cord, I was told that you were on the radio talking about the criminal justice system being racist, and that there's a racist trial going on in Philly, and that you're representing a defendant, and you said some harsh things about the police department. And we just need to know what you said, because we want to make sure it doesn't affect the jury. And I said, Your Honor, first of all, I know you, you know me to be an honorable person. I said, Judge, first of all, who's the cop that claimed he heard me say what I supposedly said? Is this the cop here? And the judge said, no, he's one of the officers who got the message. And I said, well, Judge, we need the cop who claimed he heard me say these things, and then he comes in and under oath tell you what I said is improper. And the judge said, that makes sense. The DA, hey, where's the cop? And why do you have this guy here? Long story short, the judge told them to go to hell, because it's hearsay. They don't know what Michael Cord said, and whatever he said, if the cop who claimed he heard it is not here to repeat it, then it didn't happen. So I'm saying that to say that cops listen to me on the radio, DAs listen to me on the radio, but I don't care, because I'm a free black man and I ain't scared. I'm like Nat Turner with the law degree. When Nat Turner and Gabriel Prosser and Denmark Vesey and Harriet Tubman and Soldier of the Truth did their thing, they had to worry about being killed for speaking out against racism and slavery. All I got to worry about is some judge yelling at me. I think I can take that. Let's go back to the phone lines, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free, 866-361-0900. We're going to give Michael from North Philly as much time as he needs, because he's waited so long to get in. Michael, I hope you're still with us.
Yes. How you doing?
Go ahead. The microphone is yours.
First time calling. You're a very astute individual. First of all, I'd like to say I'm a scientist. I have multiple disciplines. Mm-hmm. But I was always curious about the term minorities that make up 14% of the population here. And I've been hearing that for 3 decades. And as a scientist, I know that's a mathematical impossibility. Through evolutionary progression exponentially, even with the advent of social engineering, that could not remain the same. So I was always curious about how they always affixed it to 14%. That's one. Number two is that wiretap thing. Sometimes when you call places, businesses, entities, they have a recording that says
keep
this
talking.
call
Keep
might
talking,
be
Michael.
recorded.
You're absolutely right, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And the reason they had that recording is because their lawyers told them about the Pennsylvania wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. But keep talking. You're on the roll.
And they'll say this call might be recorded or may be recorded for quality control assurances. They don't ask you for your permission. They just tell you what is about to happen. Now, it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to initiate or continue with the call. They don't give you the option of saying, no, I don't want them to record it. So I just thought that was food for thought. And there's one more other thing I think I was going to miss. Oh, yeah, sometimes you can critique, maybe think about critiquing your commentary. You might get a few more callers. And it was one more thing. I just can't think of it right now. But I just some food for thought about that 14% thing. Okay, I'm done.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And before we get to our next calls, because we got folks lined up, we're still waiting to see if Prince from Schuylkill can get to us. We got Sister Murray, who we're going to get to, George. And let me just say this. I've really improved. I've really come a long way because when people say stuff to me that I personally think is BS, I used to just I never argue with people or fight with people. I just walk away from them. If I think you're talking foolishness, I don't even have time to debate with you. I just look at you and walk away. And they're like, aren't you going to argue back? I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. No disrespect to anybody. I'm not going to call any names. You'll know what I'm talking about as I'm saying it. But usually if you have expertise in something, impressive expertise about something, unless the situation specifically calls for it, you don't mention it. I mean, for example, Albert Einstein wouldn't say, hey, Mike, I want to debate with you about biology because I got 13 PhDs in whatever. Well, you're Albert Einstein, so we know you got that going on. So just say what you got to say. You ain't got to present your resume. So when people start telling me about their degrees and all that kind of stuff, I'm kind of looking at them funny. That's the first thing. The second thing, if you tell me that you don't agree with a statistic, for example, that black folks are about 13 or 14% of the U.S. population and that black folks are about 44% of the Philadelphia population, you got to tell me more than that you disagree, because I'll come back and say, well, these numbers come from the U.S. Census Bureau, because when people fill out their census forms, you're asked, are you black, white, Asian, whatever, and based on your response, they'll determine who's black, who's white, who's Asian, who's Latino, whatever. And that's where that 13 to 14% figure comes from. And then we get to the 44% in Philadelphia. By the way, it's not 44% minority, it's 44% black. Minority includes other ethnic groups, quote unquote, people of color. So the stat has never been 13 to 14% minority nationwide or 44% minority in Philly. It's always been 13 to 14% black nationwide, or 13 to 14% or 44% black in Philly. So I just want to be clear, and I'm only going to take 20 more seconds, and we've got to get to our other callers. So that's the first thing I wanted to say about whatever calling, no names mentioned. So that 13 to 14% is black, not people of color, not minority, and it's nationwide. That 44% is not minority, it's not people of color, it's black. And those numbers come from the U.S. Census Bureau. Now, unless you have some other statistics from some other reputable source, I don't know how you can debate those numbers. And the other thing is, in regard to the whole wiretapping thing, yes, these companies often say, hey, your voice is being recorded for quality control or whatever. And you do consent not just by word, but you can consent by deed. In other words, if you hang on, then you've consented. Nobody put a gun to your head, so I just want to be clear from a legal standpoint, consent can be verbal or physical. Somebody says, hey, Mike, it costs $50 to get in this club. I say, okay, here's my $50, and I walk in. Or somebody says, Mike, it costs $50 to get in the club. I reach into my wallet, hand the person $50, don't say a word, but just walk in. So I consented to the $50 whether I said it or did it. And the third thing, I really didn't understand. Somebody said something about my critiquing commentary and I would get more callers. I don't know what the hell he or she was talking about with that one. Let's keep it moving. Those who want to call in, the numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900. Let's go to Northern Liberties and talk to Sister Murray. Sister Murray, how can we help you or how can you help us?
Hello there, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I hope you are too.
I am blessed, and I just want to say it is more than a pleasure to actually talk to you. I've met you one time before at the library when you guys were live and doing the membership.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, and my husband, which everybody knows, Mr. Murray, is an advocate of WRD,
Yes,
and
yes.
he loves to talk about Michael Kors, which is why I am an advocate of WRD and love to listen to Michael Kors.
Glad you're on, brother.
Oh, I hear the cheerleading squad in the background. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But how can we help you? How can we help him? Please keep talking.
Yes, but what I would like to say is that you guys are totally awesome. And I respect you, brothers, because, you know, we're always out here pushing the word about WRD. We're always talking about how we can make our black men stand up and be accountable, because that's what needs to happen with our young black men.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
As we continue to go into this fight, and we have so many things that we're dealing with, Michael Kors, here's what I have to say. The elderly people have suffered a great deal in this pandemic. And not everyone have loved ones to look after them and loved ones to help them along the way. As the baby boomers, which is myself and you, and as our elderly gets older, the baby boomers are struggling with trying to navigate. And Michael Kors, I have to say this again. I love you because you listen and you listen well. That's why you're a lawyer, too. But listen, here's what I have to say. How do we navigate our parents into a status of comfortable living without them being robbed of what they worked for their entire life? And there is no handbook. I don't know where the handbook is, because I'm trying to navigate. I have friends, college degrees, educated, AKAs. I mean, we're all navigating trying to get our parents in a comfortable living without everything that they worked hard for being snatched away from them, to try to get some assistance from the state or the governor. Like, they're not going to give you anything without taking everything from you. So, Michael, do me a favor. If you have any information or helping me, like myself, baby boomers, trying to help parents, grandparents, get into places where they're comfortable without being robbed of everything they own, if there's information out there, please put it out there so we can find out what to do. So help us. That's how you can help us. And we're always going to help you, because we're going to keep on getting our membership for WURD, because you guys have never let up, have never gotten up off this radio station. And guess what? Your radio station will never look the same, because you guys have put it down, okay? And we're going to keep these memberships flowing, all right? Listen, brother, keep it going. I love you. Stay strong. Stay black. Stay safe.
Very well said. Sister Mary, I need to use you as my hype person. I was about to say my hype man, but you're a woman, because you do a great job hyping up me, hyping up the station.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, my man.
Very well said and very well done. Sister Mary, thank you very much for the call.
Absolutely.
And those of you who want to be like Sister Mary, give us a call. The numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. And let me just say this very quickly. I appreciate her passion, her energy, and I most appreciate her question about, well, you know, are there groups or individuals or organizations, folks who can assist, seniors, baby boomers, in terms of their lifestyle, their life skills, their health, whatever? The answer is yes. Yesterday, I had two persons on from Center in the Park. And in connection with that discussion with them, representing Center in the Park, I spoke up and talked about a group called the Senior Law Center. So in response to the question posed by Sister Mary, let me just say this. I hope folks who are listening, because I know you're listening, but I hope you got your pens and your pads out, because I want to give you some information. I'm going to give you 3 names and 3 numbers. The first one is Center in the Park. And Center in the Park is an organization that for decades has been front and center in terms of improving and enhancing the life of seniors. And I guess I shouldn't call them seniors because they deal with people who are 55 and older. So I don't consider you necessarily a senior if you're 55. But if you're 55 or older and you want assistance in life general, it might be something very serious or might be something not so serious, but it's something you as a senior might be interested in and you want your life, your health to be improved. Call the Center in the Park. That's Center in the Park, a group that deals with seniors and folks 55 and older. What's the number? Well, since you asked, I'll give you the answer. 215-848-7722. That's 215-848-7722. My mom used to volunteer for Center in the Park, and they did some great things that enhanced the lives of those who are 55 and older. Once again, Center in the Park, 215-848-7722. And also, as an attorney, I can tell you about a group called the Senior Law Center. If there are any legal issues that folks who are older, 55 and older, might be your parents, might be your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, if they need some legal advice from some great attorneys on anything that affect them from a legal standpoint, call the Senior Law Center, 215-988-1244. That's 215-988-1244. And I'm going to talk about the third thing later in the show called the help list. This help list helps seniors. It helps children as well. Helps anybody who needs legal advice and city government assistance and state government assistance and federal government assistance. Whatever you need, it's on the help list. And I'll talk more about that later. Let's get to the callers who are waiting patiently. George in Center City, how can we help you or how can you help us? And do we have George?
Yes, you do. You have me now.
Okay. I got you, George. How are you today?
Not too good. They're shooting up buses now,
I heard about that, man. What, like 1 o'clock this morning? Or was it in the afternoon?
But, Mike, all we have out of this, sorry, police commissioner, now, I want all you who sat there and said, give her a chance, she's a black woman, this and that. If it was somebody white, we would stop all that racial stuff. The woman's not qualified. That's the first thing. Second thing, she's doing what McNesby tell her to do, just like the rest of the cops are doing. And until these idiots who've made all that noise, speaking on behalf of black people, talking that crap to the mayor and McNesby, those clowns, they're the ones who got the blood on their hands, but they will never be men enough until they get exposed. And everybody know who I'm talking about, these clowns that went in there, that we're going to have this because it's the public against the police, and you can't win. And they're proving to you, like McNesby says, it's going to come a day that you're going to beg them to come in the neighborhood. Well, it's at that day, and all these here people who defend and talk about what we ain't going to do, remember this here, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm X, every great black leader sat down with white folks and came to an agreement on something.
Let me say this, George. I'm going to give you as much time as you need. And you're absolutely right. Not only did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad do it, not only did Malcolm X do it, not only is Minister Louis Farrakhan doing it today. I did it here in Philly in regard to Slave Memorial and other stuff, in regard to fighting to save Cheney. So I had to deal with them. But I got to tell you, George, and I'd love you to respond to this and anything else. Every time I hear the name McNesby, all I hear is a white man referring to black activists as rabid animals. And it's hard for me as a black man to sit down and negotiate with somebody that considers my people to be rabid animals. You could call them dumb revolutionaries. You could call them misguided activists. At least they're human. But for you to refer to my people as rabid animals, I'm not feeling that. And I can't work with you if you're looking at me. You can disagree with me politically, but to call me less than a human being and to say it with such venom, I'm not feeling that. What's your response to that, George?
Mike, all that is well and good, but sometimes you have to take your personal feelings and thoughts and put them aside for the greater of the cause of more.
If somebody calls me an animal, George, if somebody calls me an animal,
bodies dropping each and every day because of what some idiots said in the room who really got to these people that they didn't like. They thought it was totally disrespectful to say what they said in front of people, which they really care. But they went in there making all these demands on behalf of black people, okay? This is what I'm saying. I care less how they feel personally and what they thought. Somebody's going to have to go and make peace with somebody, okay? Right now, the mayor and McNesby and the rest of them white folks, they got the ball, the bat, the glove, the stadium, and anything else you want to call it. And until things happen...
And George, you're right. You're right, George. And I'm not going to interrupt you again. I'm going to give you as much time as you need. I agree with you on that. I could talk to the mayor. I could have talked to Lynn Abraham when she was the DA, because at least she didn't, out of her mouth, call me a rabid animal. She might say I'm a foolish revolutionary. She might say that I'm dumb politically, but she didn't call me a rabid animal. I can't deal with a person like that. He's going to have to send a representative because I can't talk to you. I'll give you as much time as you need to respond and say anything else.
Sometimes representatives, that's why when you meet, like, people up at the top, they don't send representatives. No matter what their differences is, as men, they sit down and straighten it out. That's the way it is. They care
So if
less
McNesby
about...
apologized to me and said,
No, I
Mike,
ain't saying apologize.
I think that
Mike.
politically you're wrong, but you're not an animal, then yeah, we can talk.
Wait a minute. The point that I'm saying, Mike, is that it ain't about kissing butt. It ain't about this. Whatever the difference is, once you sit down, you find out that it ain't as bad as you thought it was. But these people don't want to sit down. See, it's going to come to the point that their name's going to be called out publicly, and then people, it's almost at the point now that the public is about to say, look, I don't care what you do. I want all this killing to stop. Kids getting killed, Mike, women getting shot, pregnant women getting shot. Now they're shooting up buses. Anytime they can go down in Rittenhouse Square and shoot that up, how long do you think it's before they start, like, lining these people up and, like, really doing them, Mike? I mean, everybody get into a personal thing of their feelings, all this emotional foolishness, and there was some broke, stupid, ignorant black folks that went in that room, had no business in the room running their mouth. They should have sat there with some other people, like, and, I mean, what was the point? You knew you couldn't win.
In fact, George, I know a little bit about that meeting you're talking about, and if what I heard is correct, you're absolutely right. These were people who claimed to be leaders in the black community, but they were self-appointed because black people didn't select them, and two, they made some stupid arguments. So please continue,
Absolutely,
George.
Mike. Let me say this here, too, Mike. You know, and this here is on city council. The next time they have one of these supposed to be called secret Zoom meetings, be careful how you are on Zoom, because everybody know what they did. They had a meeting about the swimming pools. Now, when your swimming pool was not open, ask your council person why. Because last year, all the swimming pools that had shootings or had some sort of violence, they didn't want them open. There ain't a such thing as a real thing about shortage of say, lifeguards, because they got enough. But and then what I'm saying is all a matter of public information. Check the school, check the swimming pools that's closed, and ask yourself what happened last year at those playgrounds. What happened at those swimming pools? That's why they're not open. Okay? Now...
And, George, you got 30 seconds.
Mike, it's a lot going on that we have to deal with, but the first thing they better deal with is this violence. And all this stuff here given. And when you ever seen preachers before the last 3 or 4 years, here all of a sudden this year here they hating each other, fighting over each other. I told Kenny, give me your burner phone, man. All these people calling you, give me the phone. Let me answer it.
Whoa.
You know, he was about to do it. I almost convinced him. Give me the phone, man. They keep begging you for money. Preachers. Okay?
Yes, you're right.
Preachers.
You're right,
people
George.
sitting up in the pulpit, reading you the scripture, telling you about all this demonized. These preachers, these thieving, hustling pimps, you know, poverty-stricken pimps, and they're extortionists, and I'm saying that's what they are. Anytime you hustle death the way they're hustling death, you can't go in their churches for free. They don't do funerals. They don't bury nobody. Tell me what they do. I mean, tell me what do they do besides beg? And they try to use URD, but it ain't working. But you know most of these preachers I'm talking about, Mike, because you have straightened a couple of them out yourself. You know, you told them point blank, look, man, I ain't part of it. I don't think what y'all doing is right. But they don't care. They all fighting over that $100 million. They fight back. They just biting each other's back out. And the man, I told him, let me hold the phone, man. Just let me have it for a day. He got his dummy phone where all these preachers call. That's all. Every phone call is about money. Money. They want to know what they got to do.
George, we got to run, but I got to tell you, I appreciate your call. Even if we don't agree on certain things, there's a lot we do agree on, and I respect the fact that you say what you mean what you say, and you do the research. George, thanks for the call. We appreciate that. We're up against the clock. We've got to take a quick commercial break, and before the break, let me just share this with folks. This weekend, it's the 20th anniversary of Tasty Treats. Tasty Treats is a legendary party and cultural event founded by Stacy Fly Girl Wilson, Yamin Allworld, and Amir Questlove Thompson of The Roots. By the way, the greatest hip-hop group ever, The Roots. This event takes place on Saturday, July 17. That's this coming Saturday, outside the Fillmore, 29 East Allen Street, from 7 p.m. until midnight. Enjoy music from WRD's own DJ, Mike Nice, and Amir Questlove Thompson of the legendary, and I do mean the legendary, Roots Crew. For more information and for tickets, visit www.flygirl, and girl is spelled with 2 R's, GIRRL. That's www.flygirl.com. You can get tickets if you sign up or renew your WURD membership on site at our Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love live broadcast. This Friday, that's tomorrow, from 10 a.m. until 12 noon at the Cobbs Creek Recreation Center, 2800 Cobbs Creek Parkway. We'll be right back. WURD 96.1 FM.
America, we believe in the power of action. That's why we've expanded our efforts to advance racial equality and economic opportunity with an additional $1.25 billion to drive impact.
I'm Jim Dever, President of Bank of America, Greater Philadelphia. My teammates and I are proud of our ongoing partnership with Urban League of Philadelphia. Together, we're connecting more people to new skills and better jobs. What would you like the power to do?
Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Hey, WURD family, did you hear? It's official. The Colorectal Cancer Alliance just announced the new age for colon cancer screenings has been officially lowered to age 45 for everyone. If you are 45 or older, it's time to get screened. Go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner to register for your free at-home screening test. Did you know colon cancer is largely preventable with on-time screening? And there's a 90% survival rate when caught early. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colon cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. So for the next 3 months, you can go to WURDradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner for your free at-home screening test. A screening navigator will contact you to ask a few questions and help you get screened. It's that simple. Again, just go to WURDradio.com, click on the Go to Know banner, and fill out the form to request your free at-home screening test. Go to Know today.
Thinking about retirement? Make sure a My Social Security account is a part of your plan. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can find out if you're eligible to receive benefits, compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates, view spousal benefit estimates, and more. Plan for your future. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
He's right. Once again, when he says Black Talk Media here at WURD 96.1 FM, WURD 900 AM. This is the time slot for Reality Check, hosted by my good friend Charles Ellison. But Charles Ellison is taking a well-deserved break, and he's also doing some extensive research, as he always does, prior to his programming here at WRD Thursdays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Mondays. That's why I'm here today, Thursday. That's why I was here yesterday and Tuesday and Monday, sitting in for my good friend Charles Ellison. And if I didn't say it, I'll say it now. This is attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America. And you are my co-hosts because you dialed 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065, toll free 866-361-0900, 866-361-0900. And folks, I got to get in more information about my boycott and more information about the help list, but I got to get to you first. Reverend Carr, East Parkside, how can we help you, or how can you help us?
Attorney Michael Cohen, one of my favorite attorneys in Philadelphia.
Excellent.
We met a couple times, once at Dr. Malefi Asante's Institute.
Yes, sir.
And we met again at the 15th anniversary of WURD.
Excellent.
I called once before. I was telling you about my son that was graduating from high school, and he was thinking about HBCUs and the other colleges that he had applied for. He had, to my disappointment, he had chose Temple. And I told you that he wanted to go into law school and that kind of thing, but he chose Temple. I was feeling that even if he went to Cheney or Morehouse, he would have had a better chance to succeed, because with this systemic racism that we that is alive, he would have a better opportunity to succeed instead of the pressure. You know for yourself, Mike, when you went to Cheney, they had some people who cared about another black man.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Not only that, very quickly, and Reverend Carr, I do remember that discussion. I'm going to let you add as much as you want, but you're absolutely right. I'm a lawyer today because I went to an HBCU, because I went to Cheney. By going to Cheney, I was treated fairly and did not have to worry about professors not giving me a fair grade because I was black. So I was able to be on the dean's list. I was able to join the fraternity. I was able to become the president of my chapter on campus. And because of all those things I was able to do, I was able to be a tutor in English. Based on all those things, once I graduated from college, the law schools were like clamoring to get, hey, who's this kid from this HBCU? Oh, it's Michael Core. Look at his resume. Look at his biography. Look at his GPA. They gave me a full scholarship. Correction. Cheney University laid the foundation so that I could get a full academic scholarship to Ohio State University School of Law, and that's why I'm a lawyer today. And had I gone to a big white school, I would no way would I have been the president of my campus fraternity chapter. More important, I wouldn't have been in student government. I forgot I was also on the student member of the board of trustees at Cheney. I wouldn't have been that at some big white school. So the foundation was laid. You're absolutely correct. And even more than that, and I'm going to turn it over to you and give you as much time as you need, it gave me the intellectual confidence I needed. So when I got to Ohio State Law School, there were some very bright white students there, top of their class in college. But then there was Michael Cord, a very bright black student. So Cheney gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to excel in law school. Unfortunately, and the final thing I'll say, because you got me hyped up, Reverend Carr, but I'm still going to turn it over to you. The other thing is this. There are no black folks who go back to their homecomings at white universities who have the camaraderie and the love that black students have when they go back to HBCUs. I haven't gone back to Ohio State once since I graduated from that law school. I'm up at Cheney like every other day. But go ahead, Reverend Carr. Take as much time as you need.
Yes, sir. And when you were at Cheney, I'll throw a name out to you. You might not remember the name, but a guy named Gerald Mills. He passed away.
Gerald Mills?
Gerald Mills.
Yes.
And he was on that Division II championship with Coach Cheney.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He passed away 3 years ago.
Yep.
And what I'm saying is that Cheney was a foundation. The HBCU helped you, and it placed a great seed in you. One of the things that Brother George says, and I love Brother George, he tries to lump everybody in the same basket. All preachers are not thieves. All preachers are not hustlers. All
In fact, very quickly, Reverend Carr, it's because of the black church.
Williams is a good man. You know Pastor Williams.
It's because of the black church that black folks got what they got today.
Let me end on, I got two more quick things. Can I say them real quick, Mike?
You can say three things.
Okay. April the 14th, 1931. Does that date sound familiar to you?
It does not. Doesn't ring a bell at all. Not even close.
That's Anthony Hardy Williams' birthday. Your mentor, the one that gave you a shot. April 14th. Don't pull out your handkerchief. Don't start crying. Man up.
You got a good point there, because when I think about him and his great work, the tears do come. You're absolutely right.
Like that who made an impact in your life. Mike, real quick, the second thing I want to say is I got an issue with a delivery company. They damaged my wall. And they gave me a settlement, and I told them I told them exactly some legal terms. Time is of the essence to send me the money. Boscov's had a delivery for me. I shouldn't call their name out because you might want to put them on the boycott list. I got a wife, and they're telling me that they're not going to pay me for the furniture that they damaged, and I said, look, give me $500. We'll settle for $500. What do I do, Mike? Do I call you and put the angriest black man of America on them?
The answer is you get a copy of my help list if you haven't already gotten it. Have you gotten it?
No.
If you haven't, email me at michaelcordx@gmail.com. That's MichaelCoard, the letter X, michaelcordx@gmail.com, and say, yo, Mike, this is Reverend Carr. I need that help list. And exactly what you need, free legal representations regarding you as a consumer. When I say consumer, I mean you're somebody who purchased a product or a service but didn't get what you paid for. So email me. I'll get that help list to you, and you'll be ready to roll. I know you said you had two things you wanted to say. Is there a third you want to add before you hang up?
Mike, you have blessed me today, sir. And all preachers are not hustlers. Reverend Joe Williams is a good man, so I wish George would say some preachers. Because you got some preachers that their doors have still been open since this pandemic. And Mike, you know I love you. Give me your attack number, because I want to. Can I call that number too, Mike?
You certainly can. That's 215-552-8751. 215-552-8751.
751. Anthony Hardy Williams was a good man. I went out there with his son when his son was running for. We had a drive-by. We run out and jump out and pass stuff in the neighborhood. And God rest his soul. Thanks, Mike.
Well, one thing, just so people are clear, the father is Hardy Williams. The son is Anthony Hardy Williams.
Right, but the father was the one that we had this caravan. We went up 52nd Street, went a lot of places.
Well said. Thank you very much, Reverend Carr. We appreciate your call. And those of you who want to get in, you better hurry up, because I got to get to my boycott stuff. I got to get to my help list stuff. The numbers are 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. And we got Dwayne in Southwest. Dwayne in Southwest, how can we help you, or how can you help us?
Yes, how you doing, Michael Court?
I'm doing very well, sir.
Yeah, you're a very excellent lawyer.
I appreciate you saying that. Keep talking.
Yes, I have a problem with a lot of these preachers too. You know, a lot of these preachers, not all of them, but a lot of these preachers put money in white banks.
Yes, sir. Keep talking. Yes.
I spoke to my preacher about.
I love it.
I said, why you don't put money in black banks? And I'm gonna leave the way I want to leave. Oh, he got so frustrated, and when I questioned him, he told the sergeant don't put me out. So I left that church. I'm not going to that church no more. I stopped going to that church about 10 years ago. It's one of them big churches too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call the name because I don't want to do things like that.
I appreciate that. I'm, keep talking. You can add whatever you want, but I got to tell you, Dwayne, you made my day like a few other callers did, because I just wrote down what you said. That's going to be in my next column in the Philadelphia Tribune for my August edition entitled Black Dollars Matter. I'm going to put black churches, black ministers on the spot and ask each one of them in these big churches, where do you keep your money? If it's not at United Bank or some other black bank, you're going to have to explain some stuff to us. Go ahead, Dwayne, keep talking.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why their members don't question these pastors. And this is members' money. And they don't let the pastor tell them what to do. I mean, they should question. If the pastor don't want to do the right thing, put the money in black place, leave the church. Don't give them no more money. That's all they got to do. I mean, they treat these pastors like they God.
They do. They really do. They do. They always say, but pastor said this and pastor said that. I'm like, pastor ain't God. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I hear these people up there talking about, well, my pastor said this. I said, wait a minute, the pastor ain't you. I mean, you bow down to the pastor? I hear, you know what, Michael Court, I hear more of these pastors more than I hear Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
Yep. All right, I didn't want to hold you.
Dwayne, thanks for the call. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. And I got to follow up on what Reverend Carr said, because he was right. Not all pastors are bad. Not all lawyers are bad. Not all doctors are bad. Not even all used car salesmen and saleswomen are bad. You got bad people in every group. But the thing I think that distinguishes pastors from the other people is that the other people don't claim to do God's work. If you claim to do God's work, you got to do the right thing. In fact, if you claim to be a Christian, you got to do what Jesus would do. And Jesus wouldn't take a political handout in terms of cash or grants or loans and sell out his people. Jesus wouldn't do that. But I got to agree with what Reverend Carr said when he clearly said it's not all, because I'm a lawyer today, and every black person today who's doing pretty well financially, economically, and socially, who's in the so-called middle class, we have the black church to thank for that. Nobody led the fight better in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and early 70s. Nobody did it better than the black church to get us into good schools, to get us into colleges, to get us into law school and medical school in certain neighborhoods. So a big shout out to those ministers and those churches, because they did what Jesus would have done. But sadly, too many don't. And a big shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne just gave me the topic for next month's article in the Philadelphia Tribune. It's going to be, does your pastor put your church money in a black bank or a white bank? I'm going to name names. I'm going to name churches. And Dwayne, if you're still listening, man, I want to give you credit in this article. I need you to give me a call or email me, 215-552-8751, 215-552-8751, or even better, email me at michaelcordx@gmail.com, MichaelCoard, the letter X as in Malcolm X, michaelcordx@gmail.com, and say, yo, Mike, this is Dwayne. I gave you the idea about writing a newspaper column concerning pastors at black churches who don't put the black church's money in a black bank. Very good stuff, Dwayne. I want to make sure I give you credit by stating your full name in the article. Big shout out to Dwayne. We got to take a commercial break in about 30 seconds. When I come back, unfortunately, folks, we can't take any more calls. I apologize, because for the last 15 minutes of the show, I got to get my article from the Tribune in about the boycott. I got to get the help list information. Folks, get your pens out. Get your pads out, because it's going to be some important stuff. And again, I apologize, but we can't take any more calls. You can catch me when I do my show this coming Sunday and every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But right now, we can't take any more calls. I did tell you I wanted to get to your issues first. We did that. Now I got to make sure I cover mine. First to break, WURD 96.1 FM.
Hello, Philadelphia. Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch, and you can contact your local agent for personalized assistance.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
Tune in every Saturday at 6 p.m. to Recovery Talk 101 with your host, Rick Ford, talking about addiction, treatment, and recovery. Right here on WURD Radio.
Are you looking for a job? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal featuring jobs from some of Philadelphia's leading companies and arts organizations. If you go to the portal right now, you will see jobs from WURD Radio, the Kimmel Center, Her Foods, Always Best Care, and more. Apply for a job today. Go to our livelihood website at wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com and click jobs.
WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media.
Yep, this is Black Talk Media. This is WURD 96.1 FM. This is WURD 900 AM. This is yours truly, attorney Michael Cord, a.k.a. Michael X, a.k.a. the angriest black man in America. As I pointed out before the commercial break, we can't take any more calls, but we thank all the folks who did call in. We thank the folks who said what they had to say, whether we agree or disagree. We want to thank Jerry and Calvin and Joe and Ali and Rukaya and Tiffany and Jerome and Prince. We miss Prince, but I guess I'll catch Prince on Sunday during my show. Want to thank Cynthia. Want to thank Michael. Want to thank Sister Murray. Want to thank George, as well as Reverend Carr, as well as Dwayne, and those who did not get in. We apologize, but we did our best. And our final, 10, 12 minutes. Here we go, folks. Write this down. First, get a copy of the article I wrote in the Tuesday, July 6th edition of the Philadelphia Tribune. That's Tuesday, July 6th. Philadelphia Tribune. How do you get it? One, you go to a local store, but only go out if, one, you've got your shots, and two, you are wearing a mask because COVID is still out there. By the way, if you got your shots, you don't have anything to worry about. You know that 99.7, that's 100. 99.7 of the people who died recently from COVID didn't have their shots. So the only people who are dying and people who didn't get the shots get it. And if you want to get a copy of the Tribune at your local store from Tuesday, July 6th, all you got to do, folks, all you got to do is to go to the local store, pick it up, or second way, go to the Tribune website, phillytrib.com. That's Philly, P-H-I-L-L-Y, Trib, T-R-I-B, phillytrib.com. And once you go there, type in CORD, C-O-A-R-D, type in white businesses. CORD, white business, the article will come up. That's the second way. Third way, go to any one of my social media pages. Go to Twitter, go to Instagram, and under Michael Cord, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, C-O-A-R-D, and you'll see it. And I just thought, there's a fourth way. I can email it to you, but you got to email me and request it. Email Michael Cord, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, C-O-A-R-D, Michael Cord, the letter X, as in Malcolm X, michaelcordx at gmail.com, and say, yo, Mike, I need that article. Here we go. It's entitled, White Businesses Must Put Up, Shut Up, or Get Shut Down. And I'm going to summarize this because I don't have time to read it all to you. I point out that this is volume 3 of my monthly column entitled Black dollars matter. As I wrote in Volume 1 in May, although this column will light a fire under white businesses that treat black consumers with contemptuous disrespect, it is designed to ignite an inferno under black folks who finance their own racism. It's like we know certain businesses are racist based on the way they treat us as consumers and based on the fact they don't hire black people. But we still patronize them. We still make them rich. And I go on to point out that the total population in Philadelphia is about 1.6 million. And that means that Philadelphia has the 4th largest black. I didn't say people of color. I didn't say minority. I said 4th largest black population in the country. And based on statistics from the only reputable entity, that being the U.S. Census Bureau, black folks make up 44% of Philadelphia's population. And that totals close to 700,000. It's probably closer to maybe 692, 693,000, but let's round it off to about 700,000. And despite that, black folks still don't get their respect as consumers at white businesses. Black folks don't get their respect as employee or employee applicants at white businesses. So what I did was wrote this article and told people how you can legally engage in a lawful boycott. And you can make businesses pay for not treating you the right way. This is what I did. I reached out to some of the largest employers in the Philadelphia area. And let me just read this part of the article. It says, here's what I did. I recently wrote to, 1, all of the city's largest employers. 2, all of the employers with the city's largest black consumer base. 3, all of the employers situated in largely black neighborhoods in Philly. And 4, all the employers profiting largely from black municipal taxpayer dollars in the city. So when I went through all that and said, okay, who are the big ones we need to focus on? As a result, the local businesses that I recently wrote to include Acme Markets, Aramark, Bayada Health Home Care, CVS, Crown Holdings, Drexel University, City of Philadelphia, Comcast, Cozen O'Connor Law Firm, Einstein Healthcare, Jefferson Health System, Marshall Dennehy Law Firm, Lewis and Bacchius Law Firm, the Philadelphia Building and Construction Trades Council, SEPTA, Temple University, University of Pennsylvania, UPS, that's United Parcel Service, Urban Outfitters, and Vanguard Group. And when I wrote to them, here's what I asked. And by the way, I gave them a deadline in which to respond. And that deadline is coming up around the end of July. Because in that, so I wrote that article, and then I sent emails to each one of those companies, and I repeated in the cover letter of the email the following 5 questions to each of these employers. And I requested a response by the deadline of July 22. And here are the questions. 1, how many employees do you have in Philadelphia? 2, of that number of Philadelphia employees, what percentage is black? 3, now remember I said black. I didn't say minority. I didn't say person of color. I said black. Number 3, what is the employee breakdown in terms of white collar, blue collar, entry level, associate, supervisory, management, board member, and CEO? Number 4, what are the wage or salary ranges for each of the aforementioned categories? And number 5, what kind of recruitment, diversity, equity, and inclusion program exclusively for applicants and employees who are black do you have? And of those, I don't know, approximately 20, 25 companies I wrote to, I'm not going to mention names right now, but at least 5 of them responded immediately. and said, hey, Mr. Cord, here's the information you need. I guess they were saying, please don't put us on the boycott list. They didn't say that, but they probably meant that. A few others were back and said, hey, we're working on it. We'll get back to you later. And several just ignored me. But you can ignore me at your peril, because I will put you on blast. So if you want more information about that, if you want to help me organize this boycott of certain employers, email me at michaelcordx@gmail.com. That's michaelcordx@gmail.com. That's the first thing I wanted to get in. I got that in. The second thing I want to get in is the help list. Anytime you need help regarding issues, you got to get a copy of this help list. That's the short title, the help list. But the longer title is the free, legal, government, and private services resource list. Everything you need is on the help list. For example, if you're getting harassed by phone by bill collectors, they're harassing your cell phone, your landline, your work phone, your friend's phone, your family phone, and you want to stop that harassment, get the help list. I give you 3 guaranteed I give you instructions. And if you follow these 3 instructions on this help list, I guarantee you that you can stop all bill collectors from harassing you by phone. Just follow the 3 steps on this help list regarding bill collectors, and I guarantee you, you can stop bill collectors from harassing you by phone, any phone. How do you get the info? What are the 3 steps? You got to get the help list, and it'll tell you. But the help list doesn't just deal with stopping bill collectors from harassing you by phone. The help list, for example, can provide you with free attorneys if you purchased the product or purchased a service and didn't get what you're paying for. There's something called the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Agency. We put you in touch with them. What about unemployment compensation problems? Yep, the help list can help you. What if you've been a victim of racial or religious or sexual discrimination? Yep, the help list can help you. What if you have a Medicare problem or a predatory lending problem, or you're a senior and you need free, quality legal representation? The help list can help you. What if you or a son or a daughter or a friend or a relative has a problem with the school? There's something called the Education Law Center that can assist you from a legal standpoint. Same thing in regard to if you're disabled or you know and care about somebody who's disabled. There's a group called the Disabilities Rights Network. That's on the help list. What if you're indigent? Indigent is a legal term which means you can't afford to pay your own attorney. Well, the Philadelphia Bar Association has some top-notch law firms. They charge $750 an hour, $1,000 an hour, but they agree to represent people maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10, whatever, each year. And if you qualify, you'll be on the list and get high-powered attorneys. Well, that's on the help list. What if you've been a victim of a civil rights violation? The help list can help you. What if you need a lawyer, but you don't know who, and you want the lawyer to be black? Well, before 2010, which is the year that the esteemed Charles Bowser passed away, but before 2010, when he passed away, he and I started something called the Charles Bowser Lawyer Referral Service. But when he passed away in 2010, we then renamed it the Black Lawyer Referral Service. What if your ID has been stolen? The help list can help you. What if you got parking ticket issues? The help list can help you. A complaint against your bank? You need to contact a city agency, but you don't know which one? You want telemarketers to stop calling you, like, you know, that auto warranty stuff. You can stop that. What about the junk mail you get? What about if you got a problem with your computer? It could be a virus. It could be email. It could be the mouse. It could be the keyboard. It could be anything pertaining to your computer. Well, my good friend John Davis of the John Davis Community Computer Service will give you free advice regarding any computer problem. All you got to do is call up and say, hey, I support, I listen to, I'm a member of WURD. And John Davis will give you free advice regarding any problems you got with your computer, email, internet, whatever. Just use the magic words when you call WURD. That's the magic word. How do you get the help list? 2 ways. 1, call the TAC, 215-552-8751, 215-552-8751. But it might take you long to get a response because only volunteers work with that group. Faster way is to email me. Email me at michaelcordx@gmail.com, MichaelCoard, the letter X, michaelcordx@gmail.com. I'm going to wrap it up by saying 2 things. 1, big shout out to Charles Ellison of Reality Check, because Charles does a great job here and allowed me to sit in the big chair. I want to thank Dee Patel, the director of the program, and certainly the CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, and my great producer, our great producer, Troy Wilmore, for doing what he does so well. That's the first thing. The second thing goes like this. Think black. I'm out.